That is what I'm talking about. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Goglings, Gogorifics, Gog peoples, Goggers of the world, unite. Welcome, everybody, to episode 263 of Pen and Pixels. I am your host, Arvin Elleron. This is the show that we do here every Tuesday from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern, focusing on story and narrative in games, and in this particular case, focusing for the next 2 weeks on tabletop as we continue with D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder. I hope everyone enjoyed the Roll of Thunder provided to you by the amazing Mike Smith with that video. Before we go any further, just a couple of reminders about ways to support us here on the channel. If you haven't done so already, please follow us here on GOG.com's Twitch channel. Please subscribe to us here as well. You can see there are some awesome people with those custom sub badges. You have the DRM free emotes and all that kind of good stuff. So all of that would be appreciated. And if you haven't done so already, please consider clicking through to our individual channels as well. A lot of us have our own Patreons and subsystems and things like that. And that is always appreciated. Schedule-wise, we have got, as I said, D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder today. Next week at this same time, with the same crew of people, we will be playing our first full play session of Talisman Adventures, which is the new tabletop role-playing game from Pegasus Spiele, sponsored by Pegasus Spiele as well. And you'll be able to see more of that awesome game with their awesome characters and what's involved with it next week. But for today, we return to a campaign which is in the home stretch and which is going to get real. I think I sense a lot of combat in our future, chat, as we are going to be doing this today. And so it is my great pleasure now to unmute myself so they know that we're ready to go. And I apologize unreservedly for interrupting them.
I'll leave mine turned on.
And then going to...
What you just described is exactly the thing that I've had the last couple of weeks.
Can they hear me? Maybe?
Yes,
okay,
you can.
We're
having audio issues.
Okay,
we were troubleshooting.
That's fine. That's fine. I was just like, wait, I'm not being heard. No.
No, we will hear you. We were just ignoring you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Listen, I know the feeling. That's okay.
Always aggravate the DM.
Makes note on water spouts. And I'm going to slide over to this incredible, amazing crew with the amazing... I'm a little low, really? I don't think I'm a little low. I shouldn't be. Let me check and see if I am low. Okay, my sound balance is fine.
We were just talking about Zoom sound issues.
Yes.
That I think we're all, what are we switching on, because I couldn't even find it.
Automatic volume adjust for the microphone.
If you go to your microphone audio settings.
There,
Yeah.
Chat, it just did it for you then. That's then in the middle of that sentence for me.
What? But I have auto adjust thingy on.
It didn't do it on my end for Charles.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's really bizarre.
That's okay, because the baby woke up, so I'm going to BRB.
Okay.
Oh, man.
EMF baby.
But it is good to see everybody here as we continue with D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder, as I sense a fight on their horizon. But we'll see. Maybe they'll avoid it. Maybe they'll peel off at the last second and give this all up and go start a bed and breakfast on the coast. Maybe that's what
Everyone's
this
nearby
wants to do, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we're all looking at. But in any case, I'm going to introduce our wonderful players, beginning with the wonderful Pyron Jade, of course, GOG team stream leader. And Pyron, I know how things are going, so I will just say welcome. It's good to see you. Who are you playing today?
I'm playing Greta Goldenfire, who is currently in a flying wizard's tower. It is a wizard's tower because it has a wizard's hat, and so we know it's a wizard's tower. And apparently we've just found a group of evil mermen, and we were trying to figure out what is the name for a group of evil mermen. Is it a swarm? Is it a school? Is it a murder?
Yeah.
What is a group of evil mermen? So that's where we're at.
Yeah, these are the questions that alter an Illuminator time, as my dad used to say. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But it's some group, a nuisance. Yes, pretty much exactly that. But it's a pleasure to have. It's a pleasure to have Pyron with us, and Pyron also gave us the very funny visual of that now that Pyron has a Switch and a Ring Fit, playing it with the German voicing, and I just had this image of. She was saying, like, we should have the Germans yelling at you for training, which I think would be highly effective. I feel like I would be even more motivated than I am on my own Ring Fit. But in any case, always a pleasure to have Pyron with us, and also a pleasure to have Darksaber 2K with us. As always, I will give him much love and respect, and thanks for doing Dashbot and Mooboard. That's where I'm at. Dashbot.
That's their names now. Dashbot. That's official.
we're all a fan of Mooboard, I think, here. Dashboard and Moobot. So yeah, that's very much appreciated. So thank you, Saber. And yeah, how's Life the Universe with you? I have heard a rumor that there may be a certain something that rhymes with bludge bled, and role playing that may or may not happen at some point in the future. Can you confirm this rumor and tell us?
I'll take the bait. Show off this, which I took the plunge recently and picked up the Judge Dredd and World of 2000 AD tabletop source book.
Nice.
Because I am
the law. If I were the
sure
GM, I would
this
just say
was a
that all the time, by the way. I would just say, I am the law, like all the time. Like,
There is actually senior judges in the book do have an ability where they can basically shout that at criminals to stun them.
it stuns them?
Basically, it's like an intimidate, basically.
I am the law. Oh,
Oh God, it's a senior judge. We're in trouble now. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure this will be a huge surprise to people who've been following me for any length of time, but I'm a big fan of Judge Dredd.
Shocking.
Pile of books there.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I'd check it out, and I figured like if I'm gonna DM a game, then Judge Dredd's a world I'm absolutely comfortable with, and I feel I could do the justice of bringing the world to light. Pun there. Plus, I get to be the law.
It's good
So, yeah,
stuff. And who are you playing today?
I will be Celsig Mauer, daring sea operations specialist.
That's very true. Who's basically playing out the opening sequence of The Abyss, but with like a ship and a bunch of hostile creatures attacking you, like just dropping the sun. Because everyone's on griffins and or wizard towers except for Celsig, who's like, because I think it's just you, right? I don't think anyone else went with you, or did somebody?
No.
Go? So it's just you in Claudia. For all the marbles, basically.
No, but didn't River come with him?
I don't
The plan was Rivers going to come with me, I think, but at the moment you were all scouting and I was test piloting.
Okay, so maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, I think that. So I believe now we're all regrouped and we're formulating our plan. Yes. I believe the plan is Rivers coming with me in case of emergency water breathing requirements.
yeah, because you saw the to be named group of evil mermen.
Yeah, I'm up there with you at the moment. I've been recovered for now.
Yes,
complete with Tentacle, which I kind of salvaged. And everyone's kind of unimpressed with, and I don't really know what to do with it now.
It is very true. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Celsig handles that, and how the party handles this imminent combat, unless they can just diplomatically convince these evil cultists to give up King Hekaton. You know, maybe that's what'll happen. Thank you for the follow, General. Welcome to the DRM Free community, and welcome also to Mike Smith, who, as all of you can see, is getting, as we were talking about earlier, Pyron referred to this as extremely fancy. Like, this is all like, I mean, look at the fanciness of the mic inside the isolation foam thing, and like, man, like every time we see this, it's just getting more and more dramatic. Eventually, it's just going to be, we're not going to see Mike when you first start, and we'll be like, where's Mike? And then he's going to like VR zoom up to the, like, you know, I am here. This is what we're looking at. That's good to see you, Mike. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How's the new studio getting put together, and who are you playing today?
Yeah, I'm good. So the new studio is actually our co-working space for myself and my wife. Obviously, we're working from home at the moment. It's also coat storage. I don't know if that's on camera right now.
Yep.
But basically, yeah, it's going all right. I've got everything set up now where I want it, because, not so much of a spoiler alert, I'm returning to live streaming, which is exciting.
And the people rejoiced.
Yay. And the gallows were erected. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing some episodes of what I'm calling lo-fi gaming sessions over on YouTube Gaming, which is basically just chilling out, playing some sedate games. I'm definitely stealing the word sedate because my wife used it the other day, and I'm just like, oh, that's a delicious feeling word.
Sedate.
Like, that's just sedate games. Yep. Like, that's just a lovely feeling word.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm going to be doing those soon. If you want to find out more, you can follow me over on Twitter at Peripheral Mike, or on Instagram also at Peripheral Mike. Today I am playing as Urash, the half-orc barbarian and devout follower of Tempest, who is 110% wanting to go for the diplomatic option. The diplomatic option being, I talk to them with my axe in their face.
Yes, I make things very clear. He spoke to them sharply with an edge.
Yes.
And cut them deep.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm very, very excited. I'm so excited to play. In fact, I was ready an entire week early and was furiously texting, because fun fact about home ownership, I've got a hole in the roof and I'm reasonably certain the house is haunted. More on that later.
Oh.
But yeah, furiously texting the guys. I'm just like, oh, be about half an hour late. I've got a hole in the ceiling. I'm so sorry. And everyone's like, it's not until next week, man. Relax.
Well, that was the thing too, because I went in there because I was getting everything ready for Mission Critical, which is the game that I just started in my my video game portion of the slot. And so I went over there and I'm like, so there was a moment where I'm like, wait, am I wrong? Did I miss something? And then I'm like, then everyone's like, no, it's next. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, no, this is not yet. Yes, exactly. He asked them to be civil. I'm going to ask you a
Yeah,
question.
that's the one. I'm going to ask them many questions.
But it's always a pleasure to have Mike with us. Thank you, Mike, as always. Again, Mike was responsible for that awesome sauce video that you just saw to lead in, as always. And, of course, the Story So Far video. I'm not going to play that today, but you should go look for that somewhere on my Pen and Pixel previous editions on my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see more of this intrepid crew, and you'll be able to see that particular, the Story So Far video, basically, that Mike had commissioned and did an amazing job on. Not that Mike commissioned. He commissioned the voice, but actually put together himself, and then also commissioned the voice actor for it. So, but good stuff as always. Thank you, Mike. And last but certainly not least, we are joined as always by Tasty Chai and Baby, who has woken from her nap and is prepared to punch microphones and be heavily invested in the marrows, whatever we call them. How are you doing today, Chai and Baby? And how's life with you, and who are you playing?
Oh, we're doing all right. She's having her lunch right now. So luckily she's docile because you give baby food and they become docile.
Yes.
We're all recovering from illness, but recovering. And it was just a standard head cold. So nobody panic. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
I am playing River today, who is a silver dragonborn, meaning she's rather fond of ice. We are currently headed into a storm. This could be fun.
I am looking forward to seeing how many. Yeah, this is going to be very interesting all the way around. Also, thank you, Chai. Always a pleasure to have Chai with us. And I'll say just before we get started, two things. One, I see that Craigery is here in chat, so I'm going to again publicly thank Craigery, because Craigery, who has been helping as a web expert, who has helped me reconform and configure my websites that since our sadly departed Kilobyte, who passed away last year, Kilobyte had set up those websites, and I've been looking for someone since then to help me figure out how to get them back in some functional order and hopefully maintain somewhat. And Craigery did this. So thank you, Craigery. And I will say also that Craigery was probably the calmest person I've ever met in dealing with this. It was like the perfect, just, all right, we're going to do this. It was like super calm. And so we were commenting that he is the Bob Ross of web people. It was great. It was really enjoyable. So thank you, Craigery, very much for the assist. And beyond that, I will also say that I've got a little surprise for the players today, which is that when they do get into combat, they will be doing it with a brand new naval-themed combat song, because our Greenforge studio crew, Gabe Lefkowitz and I, have been speaking about different combat songs, and he's been beta testing a few of them, and I'm going to be licensing them. And so the one they're going to hear is a brand new, and I quote, and I said this is something that would be really helpful, and he wrote one, naval/pirate themed combat, and I was like, hell yeah. So you are going to hear some of that today, unless I miss my guess in terms of combat. So with that said, I am going to fire up, not that, because that we're not in combat yet. I am going to fire up the open ocean soundscape. There we go. And I'm going to fire up a little bit of this, I guess, ominous music, maybe? No. Oh, yes. How about Before the Storm? That's what I'm talking about. Little ominous Before the Storm music. And, okay, and I am going to quickly recap what happened in our last session. In our last session, the party, with the power of Zephyros and the flying castle, which he wields, have been traveling in search of this mysterious... Oh, it'd be helpful if I actually got the book. So for this, just give me a second. I mean, I know most of it, but, you know, a book would be nice to actually run the adventure. Super professional.
Oh, come on. You can just
You can use
freeform
this
it.
one.
Study with the right book.
He really is.
I'll
Larry
make it fit.
James.
I literally looked down in front of me, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to use the book. And there's a plate with the breakfast waffle from this morning. I'm like, I can't use this waffle to learn my book. And literally through my head, I'm like, why is there a waffle? I'm like, because you didn't get the book yet. So now I have the book, chat, and we're all good to go. So in any case, the party was on its way to try to track down the kidnappers of King Hecaton that are on this ship that is apparently called the Morkoth, a ship that looks very much itself allegedly seems to be shaped oddly, perhaps sort of like a sea creature itself, perhaps. And the party has managed to track down this ship, which is in the middle of this constantly moving and extremely intense storm. In addition to the storm, which might be enough of a problem, there are other issues that the party has to contend with, namely that as the party was going further down and further down to be able to scout out, what this whole ship scenario looks like, they've also found that it is not alone, that around this ship, which is sailing along, it is currently guarded by a set of these Marrow, who are these creatures that are sort of like evil mermen, I am way oversimplifying it, that are swimming alongside the vessel, and occasionally you see them sort of surfacing up and down and sort of, jumping over the water and then back into it as this ship sails along. And of course, who knows what other hidden threats there will be on the ship, under it, around it, or anything else. But what the party knows for sure, because Zephyros gave the telescope to River so she could see this, is that there are Marrow around this ship, and there is a storm around the ship as well. And so now the party needs to make its final decision, because they probably don't have too much time before they get noticed one way or the other. They have to decide what's the final attack plan. And so I'm going to hand things back over to the party so we can see how things go. Party, what would you like to do?
Cry?
No, no
That's an
crying.
option. That's a bonus action. You can do that for free, actually.
Okay.
Okay. Okay,
Oh,
we're
good to
gonna
know.
Three choices.
Good to know.
we should attack as fast as we can, so we give them the littlest time to prepare. I'm not sure. Can ships have like big weapons? I'm pretty sure they can. They have lots of space, right?
Do a blitz attack.
We could go over, we could go under, or we could go through.
I think
Straight through.
the question is, like, with these mermen in the water, whether it makes sense to try to go from underwater. And the other thing is, what can Claudia do? I mean, if you do poke a hole in the ship, it might sink.
Yeah. I mean, I did get this tentacle. I say, holding it up again, hopefully.
Yeah, we saw your tentacle.
Why are you still dragging that around?
I'm
Dinner.
proud of it.
Dinner.
It is
I
okay
just look
to
at
be
River
proud of
like,
your.
yeah, fair enough.
It is okay to be proud of your tentacle, but you don't need to show it to everybody. So, what?
I need to go get changed. I'm only wearing a loincloth. I feel like I've been poorly dressed this entire adventure.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
So,
Maybe
I
we
think
could dangle it under the tower and distract them.
the tentacle.
Yes.
Is a giant wizard's tower not distracting enough?
Maybe they see them every day.
Oh,
I bet they haven't seen one with a tentacle.
Okay,
I bet they
look,
haven't.
look. You're allowed to take it with you into battle, but we seriously should get on with our attack now.
Very serious question before we go. If needs be, can I use this as an improvised weapon?
The tentacle?
Tentacle.
Yes.
I would
I was
say
more
yes.
asking Celtic rather than you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie.
Okay, I was going to say, I was like,
I don't need to know
if you can actually
like,
do it.
Like no. Mechanically, I'm just like I don't care about mechanics. you could say, well, you roll a strength check on a 20. You can. Anything lower, you dislocate both shoulders and fall unconscious.
I mean, I
I'm just
didn't
like,
really
if
have a
needs
plan
be.
beyond showing it. I mean, if you can see some
in
use for
fairness-
it, I mean,
Yeah,
failing
in
that, River will
fairness.
probably eat it.
That's what I normally do with my axe. I just I turn up, I unsheath my axe, and then stuff happens, and we normally win. So it's all good. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm not so confident about going down in Claudia, though.
Yeah, I don't see any advantage
There's
doing
a lot
that.
of them in the water.
Yeah,
And I hold up the tentacle again. This was under the water.
yeah.
What if
So
we
let's-
just drop Claudia from our current height on top of the ship and then make a big hole?
That is the question. Do we want a hole in the ship? Because if we
Yes.
do,
Yeah.
Maybe not to start with.
Yeah.
It would stop them following us afterwards, though.
Uh-huh.
well, they cannot fly with the ship, I hope. So I say we now shall get down from the tower onto the ship and just get Hekaton And how do we get Hackathon on the tower? No, do we still have the conch? Can we teleport out? Yes, we can teleport out. We still have the conch.
You do have the conch still, yes.
Okay, we get Hackathon, and we teleport out. The question is, if he is like bound to the ship, like with rope or something, whatever they've done with him, can we teleport him out while he is tied to the ship?
I mean, rope burns.
Yeah, let's hope it's. Yeah, but if I burn the giant, he might be like really angry with me, and I'm pretty sure I should not risk that. So that's
Surely you've got more control over your flames by now.
Yeah, but the flames don't have control over themselves, so that's the problem.
River does weathery stuff.
Yeah, she can try. So let's get down on the ship and get the Hackathon. Then we teleport out with the conch. Those of us who has the conch. Who has the conch?
I'm like, do I have the conch?
You have the conch.
I'm just like, I have the giant horn. I don't know if I have the conch. I'm searching the backpack now.
I think you also have the conch.
Yeah,
So
I believe so too.
So our aim is to get to Hackathon. If we need to free him somehow, like if he's in a cage or something, maybe we can even hand him in the conch and get him teleported out.
Yes, maybe. I think all we know at this point is we need to get on that boat.
Yeah, come on. Everybody suit up. We're going down.
What about Claudia? I don't think we can conch the
You are allowed to take your tentacle, but you cannot take Claudia as well.
That's what I was worried about.
There's one toy. Okay. Sephiroth, if just have a stay away so that they can't shoot you down if they have anything to do that. And well, if you hear us shout, try to save us. Otherwise, good luck. See you later.
You assume that I'll be able to hear you over the sound of water and battle, but I will do the best I can. Perhaps I can try to harry the ship as it travels along.
Yes, we also still have the horn.
And the
we
potions.
also still have the horn. If we need saving, we're gonna sound the horn.
Be aware, by the way, that wherever you land from, I don't think I'm going to be able to get into that storm without causing problems. So we'll have to drop you through the center of it, perhaps bring the griffins and send them down and around, or something like that. But I don't know that I'll be able to get down to the deck or close enough. I could send the tower spiraling off, and then we'd die. And while a fascinating adventure that would be, it probably would not get us to what you want, which is to save the king.
Could we sneak up behind the ship?
And perhaps you're suggesting a little bit of using of the shadows.
Yes.
And he kind of looks at himself and looks at the tower and he says, I didn't really design this, I must say, for the use of stealthiness, per se.
My party's managed quite well despite that.
River, you can do weather stuff. Can you dispel the storm?
I make distraction. I don't stop it.
So we would need to go from above through the eye of the storm, and then kind of slide down a rope, or how do we get on the ship?
Zephyros, have you ever weathered a storm like this before? Do you have any suggestions?
Oh, indeed. I recall it quite well. Once when I was a lad, actually, I went through a terrible storm. Mostly what I did was hold on to the ancient stone pillar of the temple I was near at the time, and simply held on. Giants, you see, are not as affected. Oh, but that won't help all of you, will it? Well, and he sort of thinks a little bit and says, well, there is one thing. It's a little dangerous, be aware. So you can see that there's kind of almost a cyclone. Thank you, first of all, Bent Metal, for joining us here on GOG.com. You may note that there in that storm is a cycling wind around it. Well, if you try to cut through it, that could be very difficult. But if you went with it, on the other hand, you could, with some care and luck, slingshot your way into its center. Bring one of you flying, either on one of my griffins or using one of your magnificent, marvelous spells, and get you into the outside of the storm. It swirls you around, and eventually, you go shooting right out of it onto the deck. Of course, once you're there, you will wake everybody up, but it will certainly be a surprise to all of them. And there is the danger that you might not be able to control it and would be thrown to your deaths. But I'm sure that wouldn't happen.
Look at the rest of the party. Like, so through or over, I think is the only thing we've really got here.
There is still under.
Neither of which agree. Wait, under. But you said it yourself, and I point like motion to the
I
tentacle.
did go
like,
down pretty far.
Could we
before-
do multiple? Could 2 people go from underneath and 2 people go from above or through? I mean, we have
I can only
Claudia
fit
if
one
we
other
go-
person.
So
Yeah.
So either slingshot through on a griffin was the one option, and how was the other option working?
The other option
Like-
that was suggested was going from the top, basically dropped from a pretty great height above the water spout, basically. So just go, above it and then dropped into the middle.
Into the water.
Well, no. The storm is circling the ship. So if you go over the storm, it's just you have to be at a pretty high before you'd be affected by the storm. So he would be dropping you from a pretty significant height to get down onto the ship.
Your choices are dropped in to the storm, thrown into the side of the storm, and hope it swirls you about and throws you into the right place, which I don't know if you've ever spun around on the spot a lot. You don't always land where you're going to think.
Or
Sometimes
come
you
from
fall
under.
sideways, sometimes you fall over backwards into a ditch.
Or come
I've done
from
that.
under. Those are your choices.
What wonderful choices we have today.
I mean,
I know,
under
it's
sounds
not
less
really
suicidal
choices.
to me.
It's more of a lack of options, really.
You don't say. I think I would prefer slingshot through. I mean, if we could do 2 and 2, I'm fine with that. But I personally, I think I take slingshot through.
I
Just
don't
because
think
it's not that
the
high.
above attack is going to be great because I don't have a great history of landing well from heights. So I think, and I'm not, and I've motioned to Claudia, I'm like, I'm not getting in that. So I would definitely take my chances going through the storm.
Okay. River.
I don't know. The mer people are terrifying, and then I'm stuck in a metal box under the ocean, surrounded by mer people.
Yeah,
You're
but
in
we
my
look
box.
like we look like a big crab. They might just ignore us.
You don't look that much like a crab. That's is a crab. That is not a crab.
I said
So-
a bit like a crab.
Bit
They
like
might not be. They might not be looking for people coming from under anyway.
Which bit?
Actually, I have minor illusion as a cantrip. Can I cast that on Claudia to make Claudia look like actually a crab?
Could I use my minor illusion to help with this?
Yeah. Okay, so wait, you want to make Claudia look into like an actual large
Like an actual,
crab.
definite, huge crab. Yeah.
Okay, and then Celsi, you want to assist this?
I also have minor illusions, so we could between us maybe whip something up.
Okay. I'm picturing the guy who goes in the movie Mulan, when Mushu the dragon and the cricket make this like general to like give stuff to the front. It's basically just a suit of armor, and like he's controlling them from the back and everything, and it's just like, what do you mean? What are you looking at? I'm a general, Anyway, I think it's certainly you can do it certainly physically. Whether it will work or not, it will certainly startle them. I think one way or the other.
I mean, mechanically, it says it can be up to a 5-foot cube for a minor illusion.
Right. So you'd have to put it together. So this is what I'd say. Yes, you can do it, but what you would be doing basically is combining them together, as you said, and like basically you're handling one half and River's handling the other half. It will take some coordination, or it might look a little bit like two seams, like of a thing that aren't quite.
Well, we're in the water,
It's like
everything's
stop
kind of
motion ride,
distorted.
Clash
Like
of the Titans.
like a bad pantomime crab.
Yeah. No, it's like Clash of the Titans. Like the creature stop motion. The creatures.
Or we could make ourselves look like the tentacly thing and use the tentacle to enhance the illusion.
We're just Cthulhu passing by. Don't mind us.
Mhm. No big deal. You're not meant to know about us anyway.
This is gonna work.
Okay,
We'll
so,
try. We'll try our minor
Urash.
illusion crab.
you and I slingshot. They grab. How do you get out of Claudia and onto the ship?
However crabs do.
Okay, wonderful. That's
Hang on, let me consult my notes.
I thought like you'd go up the side of the ship, come on
Yeah, maybe
the
you can,
deck,
like-
and then come out.
maybe you
Well-
can like punch into the side of the ship and climb up.
Yeah.
That sounds reasonable.
Maybe not punch into the side of the ship if we don't want a hole in the ship straight away.
Yeah, if they're only like little holes, maybe, and maybe if it's above the water, the holes don't matter that much.
Well, remember, I won a wrestling match with a rock.
What? Oh,
It can
Yeah.
it can grab. It doesn't have to, stab.
Okay.
It can grab.
Celtic,
you
Claws.
can latch.
Celtic,
can
are you
latch onto
positive
the
you'll
side.
get you two will get on top of the ship?
I'm about as positive as you are as getting through the storm.
I am so
Okay.
okay. Come on, people,
Come
let's do
in.
this.
Yep, that's good enough for me. Let's go.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, so we've decided to have Celsig go with River to, in case of water breathing, and you're going to come from underneath and try to clamber up onto the deck or break through the hull. This thing could be reinforced, Celsig. I'm a big fan of Claudia's abilities, but I don't want to overstate what.
I can
You
just
gave
clamp
you
a
gave us
claw on.
Claudia. You gave us Claudia. This is
I know.
all your
I did not
responsibility.
give Claudia titanium hull breaching claws, however.
No,
Um,
but I have the ability to maybe grip onto a support beam on a ship and
I love
then
it. Claudia
to climb
clambering
up.
up the side of the ship. Okay.
No,
I'm-
not the whole sub, but we can climb up the claw and then climb up the ship.
Oh, so you're going to try to bring Claudia underneath, up next to it, like under, like.
Well, yeah, I'm
And then
not
get
sure
out of
how
it and climb
viable
up the-
crabbing up the side of a ship's going to be.
Okay. All right.
Especially
No,
'cause
listen.
we're trying
I'm-
to look like a crab, and I feel like they would maybe take issue with the crab trying to get on the ship.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so we've got that going on. All right, and then in the meantime, Greta and Urash are going to be. You're doing the slingshot method, as you said.
Yep,
Okay,
that's
but
the
on
plan.
griffins, right? So
Yes.
Okay. Now, very important. This is really critical. I know Chad is going to care about this. You will remember that when we began, there were 4 griffins, and one of them is sadly deceased, Wingdings. So what we have left now is Beaky, who was Wingding's mate, Claws, Squawker, and Wingding and Beaky's child, Ariel. Which of these griffins are you going to put in mortal danger and risk by going into the storm in this way? I want to make sure I know who's what.
Well, when you put it like
I'll
that,
take the
I feel
slingshot
bad
without the
about it.
griffin now.
Yeah, can we
You're
do
just
the
gonna
slingshot
jump in that
without?
way? No, unless you figure out a way to
Oh.
fly, you're gonna be. That will be.
Oh, I can
greatest
fly. I
feat.
just cannot land.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. No, they're ready. Listen, they're
At
battle griffins. I
higher,
just want to be clear.
at higher levels, I could get that ability. I'm not even joking.
Let's take the
Um,
2 griffins that will not make the little griffin a full orphan.
Wait, so there's 3 remaining, 2 adults and a child.
No,
No,
there's
there's
3
4
adults
remaining,
and a
3
child.
adults.
4
and a
remaining,
child.
3 adults and a child.
Beaky,
Yeah.
So not
Claws, and
Beaky.
Squawker are the
Let's take-
adults.
So let's take
Yeah.
Claws and Squawker because Beaky's the Ariel's mother. Is that right?
Did you say that
Because
again?
Beaky, don't
Beaky is the
leave
mother of the
Beaky.
little griffin.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Beaky
leave
stays
Beaky.
behind.
Yes.
Okay. So Claws, Squawker, and then you're taking Claws and Squawker. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're just 2.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
so
just
who's
the
on
two.
who, by the way? Who's on which? Who's on Claws and who's on Squawker?
I take
It's like, well,
claws.
you've ridden Squawker before, right?
Yep, that's why I'm taking claws.
Oh. Oh, okay. I go over to Squawker.
And Squawker immediately sees you. Rah! 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 Begins to nuzzle
Like,
you.
hello.
Rah!
Yeah.
Rah! Rah!
Petting the griffin,
Rah!
stroking the griffin.
It seems very loud and very vocal.
Starting to
Okay.
understand why you took claws.
Urash, if it's okay,
Yellow.
I would like to speak a little prayer over you before we leave.
That would be marvelous. I have absolutely no problem with that whatsoever.
Okay,
Hey,
so I'll speak a little prayer and put a death ward on Urash.
Ooh, how exciting. I feel all tingly.
You feel a little tingly and protected.
Do you two want your disguise potions then?
The
Turn us into a
giant-
giant potion?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah, hand them out.
I will have that, yes.
Okay, I'll just mark down that I've only got my own then. I assume River wants hers. Okay.
I wonder if River goes up to giant height, if her breath will also increase in size.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Would be a bit rubbish if it didn't. It's like this giant
Yeah.
dragonborn. It's like
Let's not be rubbish.
I mean, it might be like mega OP though, so that'd be up to our
I
lovely
know.
DM.
Let's find out.
We shall see. The size does not necessarily mean the proportionate ability and quality of the further developed form. I mean, you know. Plus,
Spell's
listen, you're not just like small dragon. Dragonborn are their own thing, okay? You don't have to take a backseat. Don't let dragons make you a subspecies, okay? You are your own thing, and like, you know.
Dragons always discriminating me.
Now, timing-wise, is Celsig, are you dropping with River? Are you guys dropping first into the water and then taking the sub underneath before Greta and Urash do their thing, or like what's the timing here?
Yeah, ideally we don't want attention.
Okay.
Is kind of the point of this whole endeavor.
Okay. All right. So I was really tempted to have you all roll a stealth and a claw sub, but I'm not going to actually do that. So he pulls in. Now, one thing that's working on your behalf is the fact that as he comes behind the storm, as Zephyros pilots the wizard tower behind the storm, it is. I mean, it's possible that creatures can see through it, but it's pretty hard to imagine how. It's very hard for you to see anything in that direction. And so he comes up as close as he possibly can. The wind here is roaring, you know, that type of thing. In fact, I don't think I have enough wind up. Clearly need more wind. Give me storm at sea. How's that sound? Give me some. There you go. We need a storm at sea. Aha! I love it. There's even some yelling, and that's going to be very appropriate soon. So as you get close, you can hear the sort of shouting back and forth of the orders and things like that, just coming from the storm. And at the right moment, Zephyros looks at you, Celsig and River. I assume you close up the sub at this point, or like?
Oh yes,
okay.
yes.
He says, "All right,
Good luck.
ready?
I banged on the side of the hull.
Doink, doink, doink." Okay. And he drops you into the water. Now, when you hit the water, and I'm going to come to Greta and Urash in just a minute. When you hit the water, there's this whoosh, right? As you hit, and there's sort of you bang around a little bit, and then Claudia stabilizes. And you are immediately aware that this is not easy to keep things stabilized in terms of forward movement. Celsig, like Claudia is already kind of like swirling a little bit. The water's super choppy, and so like, how do you want to? You can barely see anything, but you think there's a dark shape that's either a storm or a marrow or a ship in front of you. So it's got to be something.
Yeah, because the problem is we need to pick our direction and head in it.
That's right.
Okay. Well, you can see the ship from underwater, so then we're going to need to sink because coming across the surface, they're just going to go, "Whoa!"
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
I assume we've got our illusions in place.
You do.
we go
you
for
were
giant
picking up your
crab?
illusions. Oh, that's true. I thought you did. Did you do crab?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just checking we're in agreement.
Gotcha. Okay, so you drop into the water, as I said, and you start going forward. The darkness of the ocean, the whole thing like churns, the water churns around you, the ship sort of shakes back and forth. And Claudia gamely, presses on Celsig. Probably nothing but a magical apparatus of Quailish would be capable of doing what Claudia is doing right now. It is slow, but you gradually see this sort of looming, sort of larger and larger, the ship looming as you get there. And as you get closer and closer, you are suddenly aware that there is a rapidly closing dark shape. Besides the big dark shape, there's a rapidly closing shape that you can see coming just from one side of what you presume is the rear of the ship, right? So the hull, the underlying hull of the ship you can see, but there's another shadowy shape coming towards you quickly. You're not going to have a lot of time to decide what to do about it.
I don't know what we can do.
I mean, you may not be
I'll make sure the claws are out.
letting you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, make sure my claws are out in a ready position, definitely.
Well, we should probably act like a crab. What would a crab do?
Usually they nip my toe.
Well, we should probably nick its toe then. Yeah, we
Oh, I cut that tentacle and the thing buggered off pretty quick.
This shape seems much
if
smaller
they
than
attack
that.
us, but I feel like crabs aren't exactly offensive creatures. They kind of just flounder about until something tries to eat them, right?
Depends how much you poke it.
But don't poke. See, that's what I'm saying. Is once aggravated, then they become more slicey dicey.
I like to think things that live in the sea probably know not to poke things that live in the sea more than I do.
Right. So then, like, we could be at the ready in our brains, but
Yes.
not necessarily look like we're looking for a fight because we're a crab.
Well, we'll raise our claws, and we'll have to move the illusion because we don't want. Yeah, we'll put claws in attack position. We're like
Okay, so you do that, and then something comes swimming up right next to you, and you actually, when it gets close enough, the view holes that are magically, you may remember there's a magic thing that keeps water from coming into these view holes, and through them you can actually see something swim right by, and I'm going to show you on screen what it looks like. It looks like this. This thing with what looks like a harpoon goes swimming by and pokes its face, basically, so you can almost see the sort of tentacles drifting off of its face as it sort of looks, like kind of looking at, and then sort of, as you're sort of waving your claws about, then it swims away, at least for the moment. Either to get friends, or it believes you, or something. But that is definitely what you just saw. Clearly
Double
one of the
time,
mirrors.
double time.
yeah, full ahead.
Okay. You get close enough, I would say, then, that you get to the hull, and you can probably, now, the thing is always moving away from you as you're moving towards it, so how do you want to, like, grab onto the hull and stay there, like, theoretically?
I mean, if we grab the rudder, they're going to notice it's not moving right, I imagine. But the rudder's usually attached to... I'm trying to remember what was at the blunt end of that last one we were on. They're like a big wooden pole. I don't know boats very well.
Something has to turn the rudder, so there is like a mechanism in there.
Yeah.
Or some ships, especially fast ones,
Ooh.
their bottom comes down to kind of like this.
Yeah, but that's underwater.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could
Yeah.
start there and then kind of swing.
The good. I like that. I like that a lot.
You could start that.
So we start looking for the keel.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking for that, and actually that's very much under the keel is under the underside of the boat, like almost center. So, and when you get to it, I don't think I want to show you the image quite yet, but when you get there, you can actually see, and the keel is pretty sizable. This boat actually it's a big boat, but it's not enormous. And if judging based on the number of giants that you've encountered during this adventure, which to be clear are many, you don't know that there's a lot of extra room. It's big enough to hold a big giant, but you get the impression there's probably not that much room beyond that. So this is not like a freighter with like multiple rooms of thousands of feet or anything like that. This is a relatively smaller ship for the purpose. And the other thing is that as you go along, you can see that underneath the water are trailing what look like two large wooden-shaped tentacles. So this entire ship, as you're looking at it, looks like it's actually shaped like a squid. The front of it has the triangular head and the whole business, and then there is this keel underneath. So you do find the keel. Where would you want to grab onto?
So like I say, not the rudder. That's definitely out, because if
Right.
things don't move, people go, "What's wrong?" and they come and have a look, which we kind of don't want. It's near the waterline. I'd like to try and get a look to see where the anchor is. I assume it has one. Most of them have that big heavy metal thing. I think they called it an anchor.
It might. If you do that, be aware that you're going to be surfacing to do that. And I don't know whether that's cool with you or not. Okay. So you bring yourself up, and now you're on the underside, and I can actually now show you the side view.
Don't mind us, just a curious crab.
I think we should have this over
You know,
here.
like crabs do, doing crab things.
There we go.
Whatever
How
that
do
is.
squids feel about crabs?
I think they eat them.
Uh-oh.
There we go. So right now you
Actually,
are
no,
located
not
about. Oops. There we go. You're located about there.
Okay.
Okay. And you can see what the underside of this looks. Let me move the picture.
They
there.
totally eat them.
So you can now see what the rest of this looks like. And so there is an anchor, probably I would say on the port side, which is over here. As you come up, you can see that this thing is moving at a pretty good pace. And you also see that there are a number of people that are sort of moving around the deck that are occasionally looking over. It doesn't look like they've spotted you quite yet, but you're definitely at risk for being spotted. And you do see where the anchor would be.
Okay. And I'm curious about this bit, the aft castle.
Mm-hmm. That back there is basically the sort of stabilizing thing in the back. It is, you can actually see above it. Let's see. If you had to guess, Celsig, you would guess that this is where the tiller is placed. That's the piece of wood that goes all the way down and connects to the rudder. So you would guess that that's what this is right here. The thing behind it is either decorative or provides for stabilizing the ship when it's on the water. And since these are, rigid, like it's made of some kind of very strong wood, but it's rigid wood, it's not an actual tentacle. It's possible also that someone could walk out back on this, and I don't know what they would do with it. It'd attack, jump,
Well, one of my
pool,
questions
but,
was going to be, is it submerged?
These are, but this top one is not. The bottom little part of it is probably right here, brushes the waves, but this part is not really submerged, no.
That looks like a likely spot.
Yeah, so we could start on the ones that are submerged to hoist to the
Yes.
upper bit.
We can leave Claudia latched on there just below. Although, yeah, we've got to climb out and climb along the top of Claudia. Did we bring any rope?
I don't know, but I do think you brought a tentacle.
I don't know how good they are for tying to a thing. They do have these sticky things. I say, trying to detach my hand from one of them.
I mean, that's that's better than a rope because it's all suction-y and gross.
Could we maybe use that to stick onto the side and climb up it?
It's perfect. We made a ladder.
It might work.
It's sort of slimy, but we'll
Tie
do
a
all
rope,
right.
tie a rope to the bottom of it, throw it as high as we can. Or as high as you can. You're taller!
I'm a mage, bruh. I don't do push-ups. This will be good. We'll try.
Just glad Urash isn't here, because he'd suggest I get thrown up holding the tentacle. That's his go-to for most solutions.
Honestly, it would probably be really effective.
It worked that one time, and now he wants to do it all the time.
So,
That's what you get
Hey,
for
man,
rolling
can't-
well.
Can't argue with a 100% success rate. That's all I'm saying.
okay, so you folks are going to grab. Are you going to do that? Like you're going to sort of lock yourselves on and then try to use a tentacle.
Tentacle is some kind of bizarre suction device.
Okay. to kind of lock yourselves in. I do want to point out to everybody how much this really is the recapturing of the Batman and Robin TV show. About, where they use the suction, the bat suction, to go up the side of the building. I can't wait.
Please tell me we're filming this bit sideways.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's just
You
secretly crawling along a floor.
You could just reach my bat suction. All right.
Oh,
Okay.
that gives me an idea.
So are all of you going to do that? There are Celsig and River.
But I'm wondering if we could maybe cut off the suckers, tie them to our hands.
I know, like, now I'm thinking, can we, like, full on be Batman and Robin right now?
I mean, listen, sure, you absolutely it's a matter of time and effort, you know.
And upper
Your
body
friends could be up there
strength
fighting
thinking
for
about
about 20 minutes while you were creating bat suction cups.
Oh, they've been plugged into the ocean and drowned. It was nice knowing them.
Oh, that's not very optimistic. That's not true. Urash is unkillable. He'll just rage at the ocean and then be fine.
Very angry. I can't wait for the daring rescue attempt by the rogue and the mage.
I'd just like to point out, during this long quest, I've seen 2 people repeatedly fall from heights. Greta
And not
Urash.
die. Remember, and not die.
And not die.
Well, how long's that gonna work?
But in all seriousness, how are you planning on getting up there? Do you want to? I mean, you can use the tentacle. You can try to use the tentacle if you like. You can probably cut it into 2 pieces. Longer than that is going to take a long time to kind of do advanced surgery on this tentacle. So,
Yeah, cut it in half sounds good.
Yeah, I'd like make it longer.
okay.
Then you
Yeah.
could climb up halfway and then go and get the rest of it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's okay.
All right.
Ah, we're getting it.
So you get out of the sub. Claudia, of course, is still shaking back and forth, you know, with the sort of wake of the storm. And now you put, like, I don't know, wrap the tentacles around your waists or something like that and begin to do the... So
Round the neck.
yeah. That makes sense. And I'm going to ask both of you, please, to make dexterity checks for me. If you have acrobatics, I will take those as you begin to make your way up the side of the ship.
Right, dexterity check. Nope. Okay. Boy, am I glad for that luck roll.
Yeah, 23. All right. Okay.
And River falls to her death.
Yeah. So Celsig, you're like, oh, no problem. River, and like so, River, you start kind of well, and then you realize at a certain point, the absurdity of what is happening kind of occurs to you, that you're using a tentacle to come up, and you see that the tentacle suckers are beginning to slip. And I would say that you need to make a dexterity saving throw to avoid falling, because you're like, okay. So you start to fall, but I forget which one of the Mission Impossible movies this is, where the guy's falling down the end of the outside the Tower of Dubai and uses a suction cup to catch himself as he falls. The most, like, if you care about heights at all, the most disturbing scene you're ever going to watch, and also completely ridiculous that it would ever happen that way, but whatever. So, and you manage to just hold on, basically dangling there, and kind of catch yourself. So, Celsig, you're about a third of the way up. You'll need to make another check here, and then River, you'll need to make a check to get up to where Celsig just was, basically.
Just, it's probably a bit late now to try and attach ourselves with rope. Plus, Dragonborn suddenly pulling on Halfling. I
Could be
don't
problematic.
think that could be problematic until I'm secured at the top, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ghost
Okay.
Protocol, that's right.
A 9.
So you're like, and it starts to,
Stop it! Stop it!
and you start to slip. I need you to make a dexterity save for me, please. And River, I'll need your check too.
13.
Okay. With the 13, you do also like, whew. And River, that means that with that roll, you're able to move your way up to next to him, basically. So you now are on the same level. Still got 2/3 of the way to go, basically.
Since we're side by side, do we have the capacity to assist each other?
I don't see how without you
Yeah.
falling. There's no real like stable position to do it in, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
worth a try.
Sorry.
I'm helping. Oh god, I've fallen off.
Okay. Next check for both of you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Celsig you just parkour Lara Croft style up the side.
Ah, yes, but this time I didn't fall.
Yeah, exactly. And same thing, both of you make it up with, move up with no problem. And now you've only got about a third of the way to go. You can see from here, probably about maybe 7-8 feet above you is the railing of the deck. And so now you have a decision to make, which is how do you want to clamber over? Like what is your plan? What was our plan, River? I don't know, Celsic. What was our plan?
I didn't expect it to work this long. I hadn't thought this far
I thought
ahead.
this was insane and had no shot.
Honestly, I thought we'd be dead by this point.
Yes, as Echo points out, there is inspiration available to people. It's possible.
I will try and climb the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think just climb and then get over the railing, breathe, and then assess the situation.
Okay.
Hopefully, like, if River needs assistance, we've got a spare tentacle then.
Okay, both of you make your rolls, please, then. This final roll.
23.
Okay, so you get to the railing and you are able to pull yourself up. I'll talk about what happens in a moment. I want to see how River does first.
Oh, I did a 16.
Oh, you did 16. Okay, yeah, you
I'm
both
on.
were able to do it, and sort of, holding onto the rail, 1, 2, 3, you're able to get over and up onto the deck. The good news is you're up there, and you see in front of you more or less what I've shown here. You are actually, and you can actually move your. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure before I tell you where I put you. Yeah, you're here. So you folks are both here. Can't see that. Both here.
Oh,
On
okay.
this side.
That was more successful than I thought. I was only intending to end up there.
Okay.
Works for me.
Yeah, because the keel is farther underneath. If you see, like, the keel is here.
Mhm.
So yeah, you pretty much go straight up. So you end up more or less like here. And so both of you, if you don't mind, actually, are you able to move your tokens onto the map?
Don't see any token.
No, you
I
could.
can't see mine.
Let me see if I can just move them on. Like, there's Celsig, and I think we still don't. Is it possible, Chai, that we still don't have an actual sheet for you? I think
Yes.
it's possible. That we
It is
still,
totally possible that I played this entire campaign with you and I still don't have
still don't have a
one.
character sheet. Really, it would be good at some point if we addressed that. Okay.
I mean, now why bother, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, why did Okay. Yeah. There, this is to scale, of course. You can see Celsig.
Survivors then get character sheets.
Right, exactly. Okay, move that up a little bit. Move Celsig down to irrational size. Okay, so, and I think, make sure that both of you have control. Yes, okay, so you should still, Chai should still have control over that. And I think you do not have control over that, so... Okay, now you should have control over your token, Celsig. Check that out for me. Alright, so you'd be there, and then this is there. Okay, so we're going to zoom in quite a bit here. So the good news is that you are now on top of the ship. The perhaps not as good news is that when you pull yourself up onto it, you can see that there is right now someone standing behind the wheel, looking out.
Who'd have thought somebody piloting the ship? Shoot, we didn't think about that at all, did we?
It would just be here by itself on autopilot.
If we wait long enough, a distraction should arrive.
I thought
You're
you
not
were gonna say
wrong, if we can just
If
wait.
we wait long enough, they'll die of old age.
Also that.
Okay.
I mean, ship's got to be going somewhere. Might not be somewhere we want to be.
Chelsea, can you just convince them that you're part of the kind of flotilla inspection company? Like you're here just to double check all the cargo, like mid-flight.
May I
Then
see
we
your
fly check.
permits and certification, please?
Passports,
you
but
turn
papers,
those-
please. You just land on the deck. You're just like papers, please.
Can you turn those giant ballista inwards? You could backstab him.
Those are really, really big crossbows.
I
Okay.
didn't even notice them. I just thought they were like ornamentation, but yeah, those
Yep.
are ballistas.
That
If
is-
you're a giant, those are normal-sized crossbows.
Yes.
So we do have potions.
That is a ballista for sure.
And
So,
we're in stormy weather, which is quite noisy.
okay.
Oh.
So,
Maybe not.
all right. So, what you see here is right now you have one like this. These humans who are dressed in green cloaks that are looking outwards at the storm. There are... Okay. So you've got 4 here. You've got this creature that looks like probably a half-orc, a muscular half-orc probably, facing away, looking at the wheel. And then there are... 4, 5, and 6 that are busy sort of scurrying around, tending to different things. They do not seem to have noticed you yet, but these ones that are, especially the ones that are turned away from you, that's likely not to continue for very long, or at least you wouldn't think so. They just seem to be looking at the same direction. In fact, you think the 2 on this side actually may be pointing down and looking at the giant crab that is currently drifting on the waterline.
Oh, would you look at that? We brought a distraction. We didn't even think about it.
Problem is, what happens when the rest come to have a look?
We go where they came from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, we drink the potion. What would you do if you saw someone suddenly turn into a giant in front of you?
Especially someone I didn't know was there? Probably pee my
Yes.
pants.
So, what are you going to do? And then I'm going to jump over to Greta and Uresh.
I mean, in the limited range of movement we've really got, we want to edge away to the opposite side from where Claudia's tethered.
Okay. And these are 5-foot squares, so it's true. There's not a lot of movement available. Okay, I'm going to ask
Just gotta
both of you
hope.
to make stealth checks for me, please,
Okay.
as you are heading over that way.
At least you don't have me with you.
Stealth. 18.
Oh, we just have me with us.
Well, so Celtic, you move quietly in your practiced way, and then behind you hear, "Is this stealthy enough? Am I being stealthy enough right now?" I'm joking.
My
River-
tail's like thwacking and
Yeah, I was
everything.
gonna say River's not doing that. But what happens is, River, that as you're going this way, your tail does slide into and hit one of these large ballista that kind of rocks over, and one of the these 3 are sort of kind of oblivious, but this one is sort of like and then turns around and sees the 2 of you and sees you like, Flintstones twinkle toeing it over to the thing. It looks at you and is like, and points out, "Intruders!" And we're going to jump over to Greta and Urash before we find out what happens with those folks. In the meantime,
Every
Greta
time.
and Urash, when we last left these heroes, you were on your way on griffins. And so as you make your way to the storm, you can tell that both Claws and Squawker are nervous, although not like frightened, but they're definitely a little bit nervous. Urash, you can particularly tell this because Squawker has been, for the last 10 minutes since you left the ship, that type of thing. Yeah. If the storm is drowning him out, but not by a whole lot. And so, as you arrive at the edge of the storm, what I'm going to ask you folks to do is to give me an animal handling check as you move into the storm. Now, an animal handling check you may have already. If you don't, though, animal handling is going to be based on wisdom. So I will take a wisdom check if you do not have proficiency in animal handling. Okay, an 11. 11.
Got a 3.
Okay, so Greta, now you almost lose it with Claws, but you basically make it so that you're now in the maelstrom on the outer rim. And Claws seems very nervous, but is also pretty quiet, and so you're like hanging on for dear life. In the meantime, Squawker's like quaw 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 as you're doing it, and like Squawker starts basically losing it, like flying back and forth. and eventually loses control and flips over. So I need you to make here, actually not a dexterity check. I'm going to ask you to make a strength check to hold on to the damn griffin as the thing flips over, not intentionally, obviously.
Don't
in the
fail
maelstrom.
me now, strength.
Okay.
16.
So you just managed to hold on, and I need you to make another animal handling check to see if you can like even out Squawker.
Let's try that again.
Okay.
15.
Yeah. So you finally get onto its back. You're kind of like halfway leaning, like not quite in the saddle, not quite on its back. You're
I'm still on.
But you're still on. You still made it. So you are all now flying around and around. Now, the question is going to be, the way this is going to work essentially is when you slingshot out towards the ship, you're going to be making dexterity checks. But the way that this works is this way. No, you don't? What do you mean? No, you don't want to? You would have to.
My dexterity.
There's nothing you can do about that. You're going to be making dexterity checks when you fly off. However, you're going to get possible benefits, but there's a cost to this benefit. So, on the Griffins, every rotation around the ship that you go, you can get lower, which means that it will be more likely that when you get flung off, when you let go of the Griffin and basically, head towards the ship, because the Griffins are not going to be able to get out of this storm. They're going to have to fly out the normal way. Like, they're not going to be able to be what you wanted. So they can basically make it so you can leap off of them almost like a springboard towards the ship. If every revolution around the ship that you go, I will give you a benefit to your chance to do that. You're going to get +3 for every spin around the ship you take. But every spin will require you to make another animal handling check to keep from losing control of the Griffin. So the question is, how many bonuses do you want to your attempt to land on the ship when you are thrown from the Griffins? Yes.
So every turn +1 on our landing. Every turn +3, and the landing is a dexterity thing.
That's correct. It's based on dexterity, yes, or acrobatics.
Or acrobatics.
Or acrobatics, you say? Just gonna jump off now. I'm gonna spin once.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll also try to spin once.
Okay, one animal handling check from each of you, please. And chat, inspiration is a thing for those of you who have it from my channel. Well,
Yeah.
10.
okay. You barely hold on, Urash. That's the good news. You'll get a +3.
Okay, I think I might take this because I don't think I want to fall down right now. This is
Okay.
like a bad moment to fall
Now,
down.
technically, I shouldn't allow you to do this after you already made the roll, but I will do
okay.
that and be generous. That's okay. If someone wants to inspire Greta, you can do that. Okay, so Echo has inspired Greta. And so, Greta, you may roll that roll again.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Griffin riding for the win.
Much better. So, claws, just like under your practiced hand. Give me just 1 second. Let me make a note about the inspiration. So let me go back up to where I was. There we are, lovely. So, okay, so you're able to maintain control. So both of you now have +3. Are you going to take a second spin around the wheel of Maelstrom? No.
Nope.
Yes.
Absolutely not. I'm gonna catapult myself off, and I'm gonna be axe drawn through the maelstrom.
Okay, I'm gonna let Greta do her check first before we do that. So, Greta,
Yeah.
do you want inspiration on this check?
I don't think there's anybody left. I'll do this without inspiration. I mean, it has to get... This is still a better chance than my landing by now. So
Okay.
I've got a better chance on this animal check than I have for the landing. So it makes
I'll
sense
just
to do
take
another
the
turn.
damage.
Well, you do you. No! Did you see how the last from the 18 it just turned over to the 2?
Yep,
Did you?
I did see that. So did the Griffin. So you so Claus is like, "Roar," and begins to basically turn
So
in
happy
place.
for a moment.
I need a dexterity saving throw here from you to stay on.
Why dexterity? Why
You're
dexterity?
just like-
Oh wait, no. What did I say? I
No.
said last time strength, didn't I? I'm sorry.
Yes, you said
It's strength. Let me be
strength. Yeah,
consistent. Let me be consistent. Strength. Sorry.
There we go.
All right. So you hold on. Oh, you managed to pull him back into place. Okay.
I ride this griffin upside down if need be.
Okay. We have a +3 from Orash And I think because of that, we have a +6 from Greta because of 2 successful
land.
things. All right, so both of you now, assuming Greta doesn't want to take another spin,
No.
you're both going to make your checks. So this is going to be, again, either dexterity or acrobatics check as you let go of the griffins.
So mine is +3, correct?
Correct, and Greta's is +6.
So I get a +5.
Oh, wow, okay.
Mine would be 27.
27. All right, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yep.
That's
I
going to
do
be quite the
this.
entrance.
What's wrong with me?
Oh, my God. So, okay. So let's start with the good news. Urash, I mean, you remember that scene in the greatest of all Marvel movies, the Captain America and the Winter Soldier, where he's fighting he's on the back of the helicopter, basically shielding it up. And this is after the greatest action film scene ever made, which is where he fights everybody in the elevator. He's on top of the thing, and he jumps off and just parkour and then awesome hero style, like shield down. That's what Urash does. Like, Urash just like flip, 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 kablam, just like lands on the deck. And lands on a deck right next to what I would assume would be 2 extraordinarily startled cultists, apparently, who were looking in the direction a moment ago of your 2 companions. You actually land... Actually, wait. You know what? I'm not going to say that yet. They may not. I would like you to roll a 6-sided die for me, Urash. On a 1 to 3, you're going to end up here. On a 4 to 6, you're going to end up here. But you will end up on the ship.
Okay. A 6-sided dice. There you go.
4 to 6.
7.
So...
No, 4.
4. So you're going to land actually here.
sorry,
So take
I'm
that
wrong.
back about the color. You're going to land here, right in the middle of a group of people. So let me move your token. There we go. And you
The
should
scale.
have control over... Actually, do you have control?
No.
You do not
No, I do not.
until now. Okay, now you should have control over it.
Yes.
Okay, so
I
you
now have
land,
control.
and these 6 cultists around you are like, like stagger backwards. You will get a surprise round on them in the first round if you want, because I don't think anyone would find anything more surprising than an orc barbarian landing in their midst in the middle of a storm on a ship that looks like a squid. So I'd say that that's a good surprise example. Now we have to deal with Greta. So, funny thing happens, Greta. When you are
Good. I like the
released,
funny thing.
you at first it all seems really good, and then you are buffeted by not just the storm, but you realize that there are actually creatures that are part of and sort of sucked up by this storm, and you're buffeted by them, by like fins and things like that. It feels like a I don't know. It rhymes with Barknado. And as it's just sort of whirling around and you're being like, you're trying to make it and you can't, you're like, and you begin to drop further and further and further. So you have 2 choices. You don't think that you're going to necessarily land where you want to go. You can either A, go for complete random, which means you might end up here, or you could 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 end up in the water. Or you can just make out Claudia bobbing next to the side of the ship, and you can make an effort to try to land there if you want. It's not a big landing area, and it's not on top of the ship. It's next to the ship, but that way, if you land on Claudia successfully, then you'll at least be in control. Otherwise, it's sort of random as to where you end up, so it's up to you.
I take random.
Okay. So we are going to assign, let's say, 1, 2, 3,
Because I'll never get up the ship.
4, 5. Okay. Yeah, that's probably true.
That's dexterity checks, you know?
So we're going to say that's a good point. Okay, so we're going to say 1, 2. Okay, so this is 1.
Wait. I need to move my character sheet aside. Sorry. Yes,
So
again.
this is going to be 1.
Yes,
okay.
1,
This is going to be 2. Seems
2.
appropriate. This is going to be 3. Actually, no,
Yes.
you know what? I take that back. 1
take
is
it back.
here.
Yeah,
2
1.
is here.
2.
This is going to be 3. Now, this is strange
Where?
because this has a kind of, right here, looks like a
3.
sort of dark webbing, or it's not really clear what this is in the middle, but it's not, it's almost obscured by some strange fog. You don't really know what that is. That's 3.
Yep.
This is 4.
Yep.
This is 5,
Yep.
the front, and then 6 is the water somewhere.
Okay.
So, roll a 6-sided die. Let's see where you end up.
Yep. Yep. One moment.
And the water. So, okay. Let's find out whether you're... Roll that one more time for me. If you roll 1 to 3, you'll be up here on the port side of the ship. And if 4 to 6, you'll be down here on the starboard side of the ship. Okay, starboard side it is. So, Greta, you are now down here. Let me give you control over that character. There we go. So you are now down there, and you are currently in the water. You are pretty close swimming distance to Claudia, if you had to guess, but you are currently bobbing up and down in the water. And as you're sort of in the water, you look over, and you see, heading towards you, this guy, who is like, sees you and draws back his harpoon, and I would like everybody at this point to do a little something that we like to call rolling initiative. Please wait, don't do it yet. Okay, now you can roll initiative. And I'm going to fire up I'm super excited. We are going to fire up the new combat music. Get ready, chat. I'm going to turn it up a little bit because I'm so excited. I listened to this last night and it's awesome. Combat music. Combat music. No, not that. That. Okay. And here we go. This from Green Forge Studios. Okay, wait for it. Oh, wait for it. And... where's my fiddle at? 2, 3, 4. That's what I'm talking about. Here we go. Naval Combat Song, go. Let's do it, people. Exactly. Yar! Okay. I'll turn it down in a minute. I'm just super excited. He's going to redo this, by the way, with full orchestral soloists and everything to go with this. Like, that's going to be pretty badass. Okay, I promise I wasn't just listening to the music. I was, of course, doing stuff at the same time. Of course, I can multitask. Alright, let's see. Now I'll turn it down. There's 4 more minutes of this goodness, though, so it's so good, isn't it? Like, it's not just me.
Yeah, that's a good song. That's a real good song.
Oh man,
That's really good.
Oh. I was listening to that last night, and I was just like, I was so excited about the combat today, just so I could. The visual of you folks doing this stuff while this is going on is going to be great. Okay. All right. Alrighty, let's see what we've got. With dexterities. Okay, so let's have you add turn. Okay, so Greta, you've got a 3. I suppose that's narratively appropriate since you are currently in the water. Let's see. All right, and Celsic with a 7.
Yep.
Too much concentrating on stealth, right? I think that's. River with a 4. Well, everybody, the only one is like Captain America over there, who's like, just like I'm ready to go.
Which is narratively appropriate.
Oh yeah, no, it is amazing. I'm telling you how the dice work.
I hate to use this line, but I could do this all day.
I could do this all day. Before we begin, does anyone want to get off? Okay.
Oh, I'd wait for that. There's that coming up.
Yeah, no, I believe it. Okay. All right, let's see. So,
could you actually do that? Do an intimidation check and try and get them to jump over?
That's what I'm going to try and do. That's literally what I'm going to try and do.
You might, yeah. And normally, Mike's playing this the right way. The intimidation doesn't happen when you're just fighting normally. But if something bizarrely like this, like you just landed from griffin that teleport,
Like landed well.
Yeah,
as
like
well,
and
in,
landed well.
Like fumble.
There's definitely a chance. So it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it could definitely happen. Although these are cultists.
Chances are I need.
Please nail that roll.
Yeah, that would
I so need to know that.
that would be pretty sweet. Okay. Sorry, multiple groups to worry about. Just a second. Find that one. Right.
This music. Hot damn.
Right? it just was. This big
It's just
smile on
really
my
nice
face.
to listen to. Yeah, it's really nice to listen to.
Has everything you want. He really was interesting talking about it too, because he said you want to emphasize, you want it to be something that people think is really cool, but not something which is obnoxious or that distracts. So it's something which just kind of fits the mood and it was really interesting. It was cool to do. Okay,
It really does have that sort of like computer RPG turn-based battle
doesn't it?
music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Exactly. I like the boss fight combat. Yeah, he's got 5 of these songs so far that are in the combat section. He's got more that are coming out. And as I say, I'm going to be licensing them, and I highly recommend. I've been nothing but happy with the music that we've been using for this. So, okay, so we are going to begin with the bad guy because he outrolled all of you. And so it is the guy is at the wheel, and he turns around and sort of like turns his head and is like, huh? And he literally, and this guy you can see has got this scar over basically covering his entire left eye all the way down to his mouth, Selsig and River. It is not very, attractive in any respect. And he just stares at you and is kind of like, "Ah, get over here, you maggot!" And he grabs the cultist and basically pulls him over in front of the wheel. And then, looking at you, he says, I don't know what you're doing here, but I know how you're getting off. And so he... Right, okay. So he grabs his short sword. Now, this guy is dressed in this scarred dark leather. And as you see him turn around, you can tell that this does not look like necessarily a bruiser to you, Selsig. And I mention you only because you feel like you recognize a little bit of this fighting style. It might remind you a little bit of your own, in fact. And as he comes in, he runs into the attack. I think he's going to attack the first... let me see. I don't know that he knows who he's going to attack. So, bad luck, Selsig. He's going to attack you. So he comes towards you, and he's going to make 2 attacks with his short sword that he draws at his belt. The first one is, I think, a critical miss, but the second one is a critical hit. So that was unfortunate. So I imagine you miss one, and you're like, oh, land in the other one. Okay.
I use
Yeah, go ahead.
uncanny dodge,
To minimize the damage.
half damage
Half
from
damage,
his
right?
crit.
So you would take 9 damage. You're now going to take 5. That's the good news. The not as good news, Selsig, is you need to make a Constitution saving throw because something in this blade burns very strongly as it hits you.
Okay.
Okay, I'll turn the music down a little more now.
Well then.
Whoa, bae. Okay. So, let's see. That was it was a 5.
That was a 5.
All right. You were going to take... You were going to take 20 points of poison damage. 20 points of poison damage, and you are currently poisoned. I will tell you the effect of that in just a moment. And he laughs. It don't feel good, do it? Let's see. Let me just turn off my siege equipment page about the ballista on the deck I was looking at, and turn instead to look at the poisoning. Okay. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, good. Okay. So the effect of this poison basically is that you are going to take damage from this, and it's basically going to be a d6 of damage every turn until you save. Now you'll get a chance to make that save again every time, Celsig, but until you make the save, you're going to be taking up to 6. So it'll be a 1d6. So you could take 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 every round. So this guy is no joke. Let's see, 1d6. Poison until saved. Con save. Okay. All right. That was him. Next to go is Urash. And you have a target-rich environment. There are a lot of cultists that are all staring at you, sort of in shock and horror. You can get a surprise attack on the ones that you wish. Or you could do whatever you
Excellent. Cool. So I'm going to draw my axe. I'm going to quite elegantly kind of swing it around in my hand, hold it in both hands in a full battle stance, and say, guys, you have 2 options, out there or in here. Which one's it going to be? You only get 1 chance.
want.
And with that, I'd like to make an intimidation check.
I think it sounds like a good idea. Please do so.
I rolled a 19.
A 19. That is a good intimidation check. Let us see how
That is a good intimidation check.
Let us see how many of them are going to be affected by this.
So they're all gonna jump to where I am?
Yeah, on top of you. Ah!
Oh, yeah, Urash doesn't know where you are. As far as he's aware, you landed on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should maybe have screamed while falling down, like, ah,
Yeah.
squash.
I missed.
Okay. So, all right.
Not again!
Okay. So, 3 of them look at you and then look at their compatriots and then, like, just basically, like, leap off the side of the ship. They're just, like, I don't even, and one on this side.
Nope.
Now, the one on this side, we will see what happens to them down the line and, you know, how long they're going to stay intimidated. The other 3 sort of look at you and are like, "Argh." So they seem like not inclined to listen to your intimidating threats. But yeah.
So you have chosen death.
You have chosen death. I assume you say you have elected the way of pain, and then
Yeah.
okay. All right. So are you going to move anywhere? Because intimidate was your action.
So intimidate was my action. So I can't attack now, can I?
No.
No. That is unfortunate. Then no, I'm going to stay exactly where I am.
Because I don't think you have intimidate as a
however-
bonus action or anything else. Like,
I don't believe so, no.
Wasn't like it wasn't
It seems a
effective,
bit
I
strange
mean.
that I don't. No, that's true. I mean, it got rid of 3 targets, so I'm kind of happy with that. I am, however, as a bonus action, going to rage.
very nice. And so you do that, and they seem very troubled by you. Okay, you are doing that, and you're going to stay where you are movement-wise, I assume, Orash?
Yep, rooted to the spot.
Okay.
Oh, one thing I did want to ask. Can I see anything else on the boat?
Yes. So in the back here, this area here is sort of odd. There's a kind of strange fog almost that seems to be covering it. Almost like a darkness, and you don't entirely know why. It's definitely not a deck though. And it looks like there's basically, as you look over, you can see the wheel back here, and you can see there are more cultists, and also maybe can just make out. I don't know that you could see Celsig, but you could probably just make out River over there, and like the wheel of the ship that is currently being manned by one of these cultists. And so you can see that, and there must be a way to get from here to there, but you don't see it obviously as you're standing here.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay, now it is many of the other bad guys' turn. Okay, so first of all, let's have the ones that were here. They are going to begin to attack you, these 3 on you, Urash. So they come up on you to try to do the deed. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Okay, so they pull out each of them have a dagger, and the dagger itself is has these kind of wavy edges you can see on the blade, Urash, and you think you can maybe see they seem to be shimmering slightly, but it may not be magic. It may be something that's coated on the blade, but you can definitely make out something unusual about all of these blades. And they are going to come in, and each one of them is going to make 2 attacks. They move with a lot of speed. So let's see. The first one is a 19 and a 17.
Okay, both of those hit.
Okay. The second one is a 7 and then a 16.
The 7 does not hit, the 16 does.
Okay, and then we have an 11 and a 9.
None of those hit.
Okay, so it looks like we've got 3 attacks that actually landed home. And now these are daggers.
Just with my calculator.
Okay, so you're going to take a total of 13 piercing damage, although is that reduced by
Half.
by half? So you're going to take 6 then, basically. Actually, no, sorry, you round up 7. So
Okay,
7,
yeah.
so you're at 79, I believe.
Yep.
And you're
that's
going
me.
to have to make not 1, not 2, or you're going to have to make, let me see, how many hits do we have? 3? 3 con saves.
3 landed. 3 con saves. Got it. Constitution saving throw 1 coming up. That is a 12. Constitution saving throw 2 coming up. That is an 8. Constitution saving throw 3 coming up. That is a 9.
That is sadly a swing and a miss on all 3. Fortunately, you
Oh,
can't be
that's
triple
unfortunate.
poisoned, so that's good, but you did
Oh,
get
good.
poisoned. Okay, so what that means is these are not quite as powerful as the one that Celsig is dealing with. I'm sure you'll be happy to know. You are
Yes.
going to take 5 more points of poison damage. This does not reduce, though. The nature of this poison is such that it's particularly virulent. So you have 74 out of 86.
4, yeah. Yep.
Now, the good news is that so you were also poisoned like Celsig is, but the good news is you are actually only going to take 1d4 points of damage per turn until you save.
Okay.
And it doesn't stack, so like, as I said, you don't get triple poisoned.
Okay.
So 1d4 poisoned until con save, says the DM, making a note. Right, cool. Okay, so that is their attack. Now, these ones, Greta, there's an interesting situation you're about to have. So the ship is still moving, right, while the rest of you are not. So these guys are now back here as the ship is leaving them behind. As this thing goes by, you could theoretically try to get an opportunity attack on this thing, on the cultist as it goes by you. So you could, if you wish, and you're not, I don't know that you're going to be able to do it with your weapon, but you could probably, like, punch him in the back of the head or something if you want. Or you could just let him go, because he's paying no attention to you at all. You're muted, I think. All right. Still muted.
Sorry. Yeah, there's no reason not to punch the cultist. It's the wrong cult anyway, so.
Yep. That's fair enough. So then I will ask you to make an attack. Like I say, I don't think you can really do a... So do basically just an unarmed strike, which just means your strength, and yeah.
Okay.
This is where I load my save back on there.
17.
17. Yes, that will hit. So you can successfully punch that one in the back of the head.
I'm doing my part. So how much damage do I do?
With your fist, it's a mailed armored fist. Let's say 1d6.
Yep. 1d6.
Plus your strength,
Yep.
you can add bonus to that. So 4
then
plus
it's
your
plus
strength.
3.
So
so
7
7.
points of damage.
Yep, just in the face.
I just want to point out that the last 10 seconds of this cultist's life is involved. Orc lands, get off, jump off, and then you're punched in the back of the head by a dwarven cleric. I just
By
want
a
to be clear.
floating dwarf. I'm like a water mine.
Yeah. Just like, so he kind of gives you this horrified, oh, like as he's holding his head and is continuing to like pass by you. Yeah. Okay, so now we have the cultist on this side. Okay, this one is not going to be able to do anything because he's dealing with the ship. So you have only 3 to worry about. 2 of them are going to go on to, we're going to try to deal with River, and 1 is going to go on to Celsig. The 2 that are going to go on to River are going to have what was previously described by me as, okay. So they have those wavy daggers that I mentioned. So the first one attacks twice again. terrible rolls, though. 7 and 8. I don't think either one of those are going to hit, right, River? Okay. So the second one that attacks you has got an 18 and a 13.
They both hit.
They both hit? All right. So...
My AC's 12.
Okay, yeah. Like you said, mage. All right, you're going to take 6 points of piercing damage. And I need you to make 2 Constitution saving throws, please.
"17 and 16.
Okay. Actually, both of those, you shake off the effect, so you were not poisoned by these.
Yay!
So you're hurt. You know, that sucked, but you were not poisoned, and they seem vaguely disappointed.
Perfect.
Celsig, this one comes in on you to do the same thing, basically, or try to do the same thing, and is going to critically hit on the first one, and 17 on the second one. Is that 17 a hit also?
17 is not.
Okay, so just the one critical hit, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Sadly?
going to be 6 points of damage. Sadly for
Uncanny
him.
dodge.
Yes, so 3. So 3 points of damage. So 19 is what you're down to 19, and the poisoning, you don't have to worry about that because you're already poisoned. So there's no, again, it doesn't stack. You're just like,
Yes,
yeah,
I
give me
don't
all the
have to
poison.
worry about that.
Well, you do have, you're going to have to worry about it for sure. In fact, about 3 seconds you're going to have to worry about it. Okay, and that is their turn. I would like, actually, Urash and...
Lost 3/5 of my health and I haven't
I know.
moved yet.
I know. Urash, River, and Celsig, I'd like you all, please, to make perception checks for me, please.
Perception.
Perception. There you go.
23.
23.
I'm sorry, what are
23.
we
Wow.
rolling?
Perception check.
Okay. Nice!
Nice.
I see the Matrix.
You do. What all of it is even over the storm and the kind of the fury and this incredible combat song, you hear the sound of what sounds like steps, like footsteps charging up from somewhere down below. Apparently there are people down below of this ship that have heard fighting and are perhaps on their way. Okay. Celsig, you are going to take this 1d6 poison at the beginning of your turn, but you can immediately make a con save. So you are going to take 3 more points of damage from the poison, but you can immediately con save if you want to try to, and I assume you do, to try to get out of it.
Well,
Poison remains, sadly. Okay, now you have got this dude in your grill. And you got 3 cultists that are currently unoccupied and dealing with you. Well, one of them that's dealing with you specifically. What do you want to do?
I'm going to cast Color Spray at level 2.
Okay.
I want to try and get these 2 in the 15-foot cone.
Lovely.
So
You'll be able to
at
do that.
the second level, I roll 8d10. Hang on, just covering over. Like that. So, I need 8d10. So, in ascending HP order, that will affect a total of 50 HP's worth of enemies, blinding them for a round.
Okay.
Yeah, so starting with the lowest HP of them affected, and then going up from there, subtracting their hit points from the total before moving on to the next.
Okay, now which people did you put it on again?
The 2 specifically coming after me,
Okay, so the orcus guy with the
him
the
and
sword,
him, as
and
I
the
understand
cultist.
it,
The
because
orc,
he's just he's been
Yeah,
put
he's
in
on the
charge
wheel,
of
right.
steering. Yeah,
the orc is not affected by this, but the cultist like staggers back, completely blind. He can't see anything, apparently. And yes, so they are blinded. And that's going to last for, this is 1 round?
1 round.
Okay. So, yeah, he's definitely at the moment, we will mark him as, he cannot see. Blinded. Okay. All right.
Fancy.
Yep. He's definitely blinded.
Blinded by the lights.
And you have a move. What would you like
Don't
to
do that. Now it's in my hand.
Don't really know what else I can do because movement's not an option because he'll just hit me. I mean, I could disengage,
You could
and then
disengage.
he'll just turn and hit me.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you disengage, he won't hit you right now, but he could, I guess, move up to you.
Well, I've got a bonus action for a disengage, so I can still move afterwards.
Oh, well, then you can do that. Just
Yeah.
run, like, on the back of the ship.
It's just, well, he's just going to walk up and hit me wherever I move is the problem.
Yeah. Well, depends on where you go, actually. I mean,
That is true.
listen, you at the word, maybe you have an epic fight here, you know? Who knows?
No, I die of poison there.
Okay. It's true.
I'll disengage over to here.
Okay.
Before I make my movement, can I see any clearer in the pit?
Can you see, I'm sorry, what? Can you see?
Well, we've got this
Yes.
blackness here still.
You don't see anything yet. It just looks like this dark, sort of swirling fog. You think probably that this is open to the bottom, maybe, but you can't see into it. You haven't obviously tested to see if it's tangible or not, but something is definitely obscuring your vision down there.
Part of me's going, sod it, just jump in.
To be fair, that was my plan.
Yeah. Sod
Have a
it.
plan.
Yeah.
Wait for it.
I'm going to drink the giant growth potion.
Concerning the pit, I have a plan concerning the pit.
Yeah, he's not going to know that, though. He's over
I'll
on
drink my
this side.
giant growth potion.
Although I can imagine Greta being like, I've got a plan, like over the storm. Okay,
While
so-
being swept away, I've got a plan.
all right, folks, the real-time transformation. Yeah, there we go. All right.
I'm now 6 feet tall.
That's true, actually. I shouldn't be. Okay, so you drink that. Actually, I need to double check on giant growth that affects hit points. Need to go look that up.
I'm a Celsic the size of 2 Celsics.
Now
Celsic
take one of the ballista as like a crossbow or just stomp on people.
double
No,
Celsic.
now
I
you
would
could-
love
now
to
you
see
could use it
Celsic stomping
normally.
people. Celsic stomping on people would really like. Maybe you can like take him and like in the animated movies like do like this proink thing, you know, like where you proink people.
Okay, so
Or
let's
put
talk
them on the
about what this-
ballista and shoot them.
So here's what this happens. So when this happens, you actually don't just double in size. This is a potion of giant size, which means that the way I originally had it is right. You become huge if you are medium or smaller, and you are definitely medium or smaller. And for your duration of this, and it's 24 hours, your strength is 25. You have the strength of a giant. Moreover, your hit point maximum is doubled right now, so you were at 32 out of 96 at the moment.
32 out of 9. I put that in my temporary.
Still poisoned, but 32 out of 96.
I can survive it a bit longer.
Yeah. Also, the
Doesn't
reach
it get
of
a
your
con
melee.
bonus?
Sorry, second.
Don't suppose I get a con bonus as well, do
Yeah.
I?
The reach of your melee attacks also increases by 5 feet. When rolling damage for your weapons which have been enlarged in this manner, you will roll 3 times the normal number of dice. So, an enlarged longsword would deal 3d8 slashing damage instead of 1d8, or 3d10 slashing damage instead of 1d10 when used with 2 hands.
Oh my!
You're definitely going to have to remind me of this next turn.
That's totally fine. I'm keeping that up. Basically, the point is, you know, and they see you do this, they're like, oh, like they seem very, they are not. In
They make
particular,
me
the-
angry.
Yeah, the orc is like, oh, are you like
He was
jumping?
a giant. He was a giant in disguise.
He was my true form, my final form.
The gods are angry.
I am Salsig Moore now.
His
not
clothes-
Salsig Moore.
His clothes also transform. Yes.
I wanted them to be like Incredible Hulk, where they half rip, so he's just in jean shorts. But no, they also transform.
Thank
okay,
you.
now are you jumping down into the pit? Is that what you were doing, or are you
was
staying
it
up
free
here
action?
like on
Oh, no, I still had my movement, didn't I?
Yep.
Okay. I'm jumping in the pit.
Okay. When you jump in the pit, now you do so, and a couple of things happen. First of all, you jump and fall a good 15 feet, and narrowly avoid hitting the body of an enormous giant that is chained at the bottom of this fog. So, I'm going to put this right here. This 28-foot tall giant seems to be frozen in time, Celsig. His eyes are open and staring blindly into the sky. He has a long white beard and blue skin, and on his head sits a crown.
I yell out, "Found him!"
Okay, now, there's also other things down here, which might not surprise you. First of all, there are more cultists. Definitely need more of these guys. There were, in fact, 2. Just move you over here for a second. All right. All right. 3 on each side. And also, just emerging from below, you see one other figure. This other figure here is apparently human. Oops, let me actually find this in the right spot. There we go. Okay. Trying to get me to buy another product. Not today, Satan. All right. So he emerges, and he looks kind of looks very intimidating. He throws back his hood, and you can see that he has what looks like a tattoo on the back of his head. And as he looks over at you, he's got a staff, and suddenly the light for no reason brightens, reflecting his power, apparently, on my light panel. I don't know why that happened. And there is has a staff in one hand, and in the other, a ball of some fiery ball begins to glow and shimmer in his hand as he sees you. So that is what you see down there. And yeah, I think that's the end of your turn. But that's what you see. Now, I should point out, by the way, above you, it's still cloudy and fog. So it's like there's a layer of some kind of darkness between you and the outside. And you can actually see that this giant barely fits inside this hold. And it looks like the ship has been specially modified for this purpose. Because as I said, it's not that big a ship. So that may be why they don't have any like floors above it. There are stairs on either side, as you can see. But he is basically just by himself. And it's, yeah, so. Okay. That's going to lead us to the last set of bad guys we haven't yet talked about. And those are the Marrows. All right. And I don't find them there because it's the wrong place to look.
They're gone.
What do you mean not found?
Yeah,
Yep, they're gone. They're gone. No.
I wouldn't.
We've got enough. It's not.
I wouldn't worry about them.
Like,
Yeah.
thank you very much for all your work. We're fine.
Urash intimidated them too.
Yep, that's it. That's the thing that happened.
When I looked for the thing that I actually wanted, this is what it came up with. I ask you, chat, really? Is that going to frighten anyone on Earth?
It depends. Are there like 50 of them? And are they actually piranhas? Because that would be scary.
No,
If I have to fight piranhas tonight, I'm gonna feel strange about it.
Yeah, they,
If Saber looking down like this with his headphones, he looks like a Martian.
That's actually true.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Hold on. I thought I had one of these set, and I think I did, and now I can't find it. So...
I got the answer I wanted from that.
That's what I want. Okay, I found it. Let's see if it has this. Yes, outstanding. Perfect. This will do just fine. Okay, so, and these all have their trident harpoons. So, we got
All?
2 of those,
How
and
many?
2 on this side.
Okay.
Get rid of the fake fishman. All right. Okay.
Get rid
So
of the
Greta,
Battletoad.
as you are sort of here, these ones, they are not doing anything as of yet. No, they're not doing anything as of yet. These ones may come into play. In fact, I think they probably vanished from sight, and you don't know why, but you will see. So let me just move this handy-dandy crew out of your sight. Okay. And on this side, this one's not going to get to you yet, Greta, but this one is the one that was coming in on you, and it is going to attack you, and it's going to do so, let's see, with its harpoon. It has basically this harpoon trident, and is going to try to pierce you with it as it roars its anger at you for defiling its sea, I suppose. Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to have 2 attacks, like all creatures do at this level. A 9. These are terrible. 9 and a 12.
No. I'm just flailing around in water. It doesn't hit me.
Yep. So it's...
I have like this very creative swim style of
Okay. So we're going to see. This one is going to be on
Swimming
top of you
style.
as of next round. And you don't know what happened.
No.
You don't know about the other two. So. Okay.
This one.
Yeah, that's going to lead us to River, and Greta is going to be on deck. So, River, you just saw Celsig get big and jump into a pit on top of something. And you are now up here with, let's see, a blinded, although I think that blind is going to be off by next turn, but at the moment blinded. 2 cultists plus this orc thing, whatever it chooses to do with you.
So, I have a 40-foot radius sleet storm that I would like to engulf them in so much because icy terrain is fun.
How much is 40 foot?
These are
Huh?
5-foot squares, I believe, so that
Is
will...
that the whole boat?
No. No, but it would definitely take up about... well, it could cover the dark, like some of the darkness. Like you don't see where the darkness is.
Right,
But
I
it-
definitely want to be getting my attackers. So my attackers and then whatever is left, essentially.
Okay. So, for example, something like that.
Yeah, that's great. Let's do that.
Okay. Now you don't know if that's going to affect Celsig or not, but it will definitely affect a bunch of other people. That's for sure.
Yes, we will all have a fun time.
Yes, it is. The time has come for sleep. Celsig's
Yes.
about to have an up-close and personal view of climate change. Okay. Rapid climate change. Okay. Right. So, okay. So you will be able to do that. That sounds like a plan. Making difficult terrain. But there's no damage that's associated with it. But blah, 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 blah. Heavily obscured. Okay, so the area is heavily obscured as well. Okay. All right, you can do that. So you do so. Do you want to try to move or stay where you are? Because these creatures that are right up on top of you can still see you. It's heavily obscured doesn't mean completely invisible.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is like move where and to what end. Like if I
True.
try to move, I'm going to give them opportunity attacks,
That
so
is
I may
true.
as well just hold my ground.
That is true. Okay. That's going to lead us then to Greta, who is currently swimming with 2 deadly marrows and their tridents, not far away from Claudia and the rest of the ship.
So
what do you want to do?
the marrows tried to harpoon me, or was it just one marrow?
One tried to harpoon you, the other one can't get to you yet.
Okay, so do I now have
I
like a
should have had
free?
him thrown his harpoon. You're right. My bad.
Do I now have like a free harpoon swimming next to me, or is it like on a rope and he will pull it back?
No, he didn't try to throw it at you. He stabbed at you with it. So it's like it's a harpoon trident. He's got a harpoon in one end and
Oh,
a
okay.
trident on the
I
other.
imagined like like the whale hunter
Yeah.
thing.
And it could be used either way, but you can see that their tridents actually have one end that's a harpoon and the other's that trident. So the guy who attacked you was doing the melee attack with the trident end, and the other one forgot to throw the harpoon because his DM forgot.
Okay. So, dealing damage or getting on top of the ship? This is now the question. What should I do? If there was a circle of 30 feet around me, like with a radius of 30 feet, what would I hit?
I would say that you would hit. You would probably hit right up against, like you'd hit Claudia. You would probably. Hit
I
right
only
up
hit
against the ship.
hostiles. I only hit hostiles.
Oh, well then you would hit this this cultist that you punched in the back of the neck, or back in the head, and you would hit the two marrows that are right next to you.
But nothing on the ship, yes?
Nothing
So
on the ship, no. There's also randomly a sleet storm now that's obscuring and making hard for you to see.
Okay. I cast Water Walk on myself and run away.
Okay. You will take an attack of opportunity if you run away
Yep.
from. Okay.
But it doesn't make sense to fight the mirrors.
No,
Just
I
get
hear you.
on the
No, of
ship.
course. I entirely agree. Okay, let's see. That is a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that does actually hit.
Okay. So there is a little bit of a problem with this, and I'll tell you why. As you run away, this thing hits you with an attack of opportunity. It does 14 points of damage. That's, hurts, but
Yeah.
you can manage it. The bigger problem, though, is that, and I quote, if target is a huge or smaller creature, it must succeed on a strength contest against the marrow or be pulled up to 20 feet toward the marrow. So he's basically trying to skewer you and pull you back.
So this will look like me like water skiing then, right? Like shoot.
Yeah, basically. It'll be one, and also, get over here, type scorpion, right? But
Okay.
we need to make an opposed strength roll. So,
Okay. Wait, why is it not rolling? $21?
wow, and you needed it because he rolled a 17. Yeah, you managed, you just pull away from
I
him.
just take him with me.
Yeah, he's like, lose it. And you make your way to the ship. And you can actually get to the side of the ship, I would say, right. No, actually, it depends on where you want to be, Greta. You could end up here, or you could end up in the storm, the sleet storm.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's going to be good in the sleet storm because this looks like a sleet storm. Do I see any chance on getting up there, or is it 5 meter of wall and I can just?
I
Not?
don't think you're going to be able to get up there this turn.
No, but generally.
Generally, maybe. You'll have maybe. You don't have any benefit of when a certain other members of your party came up. They had the benefit of tentacle assistance. You do not have that. It's not smooth though. I mean, it's made of wood, so I would say it's possible you could kind of pull your way up if you use a knife or something, not a dagger, but a knife just to sort of
Okay.
grab into it. But it might be slow. You could also, if you have a rope, could toss it up there. You can see from your position here that you can see Urash up on, now that you're up next to the ship, you can see Urash up at the forecastle, the front of the ship up here. So you can see that.
So at the back where Claudia is the easiest part to get up, but then I'm in the sleet storm, right?
That's true. And presumably it will be icy on the sides of the ship.
Yeah, where they did all the dexterity checks together.
I'm sorry.
You could know, it's fine. Okay, I will just hope that Urash will help me up. I run towards where Urash is.
Okay. I would say that you can probably get about here-ish. And then you can... Are you going to, shout or,
Yes, of
he's
course
a
I'm
little
gonna shout. I'm gonna shout like crazy.
Okay.
And okay, I'm doing little blue points. I'm sorry, but I forgot that. Ignore them.
Okay.
So there? Is this correct?
That works.
Okay. And I'm
you
shouting
just
like,
yell
Urash!
out- Urash, make a perception.
While running over the water and dragging the mirror behind me? Or
He's
is it...
no, he loses it, no,
Okay.
you pull
Okay.
away from his harpoon. But
Okay.
he's just type of thing. Urash, make a perception. Yeah.
Wow.
I think actually that's probably still enough, because that plus the screaming over
Okay.
time. This is not that difficult. Yeah, you hear on the other side someone yelling your name repeatedly, and it sounds an awful lot like Greta.
Okay.
Okay, that is going to be Greta's turn. That is going to lead us to the bad guys. This orc with a snarl looks around and yells down into the fog, "Oi, you lot, get that one!" And then turns around, just says that over his shoulder, and then comes at you. Now he is already in this sleet storm, so he kind of carefully makes his way over, basically, River, to attack you, because he was more or less in melee range of you anyway. And he's going to try to attack you twice. That's I'm feeling that hit. That is going to be a.
It's not a good noise.
Yeah, that's a 23 and a 22.
Doesn't he have to do a saving throw on the start of its turn?
No.
If
When
it
he
starts
first
its turn
enters
there,
the area, he has
or
to.
starts its turn there.
When he first enters the area of Sleet Storm, I'll read you what it says.
Yeah, that is what it says.
When he first enters the Sleet Storm area, it has this effect. It must make a dexterity saving throw, but not while he remains in that sleet area. But he also has casting spells is impossible. Trying to concentrate and hold that is very difficult. And trying to leave and come back would be difficult, and no one outside of the sleet storm can see into it, basically. So there are definitely benefits to having done this. So, what did I say? 22 and 23.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Let's see. He is going to do... okay. So he's going to do... Ouch. He's going to do 18 points of damage on those two. And... I will need you to make a con saving throw, please. Actually, two of them, I believe, because he hit twice. Yeah, so 2 con saves. Second one is good. First one with a 9 is not. You are poisoned. That is... Wow. That is 15 more points of damage. So I think you're at 2, if I calculate that properly. You were at 2.
You sure do.
You are poisoned, which means 1d6 poisoned until you make a con save.
Yay.
Yeah, that's how you feel, is basically a crying child, is I would say. So yeah, and he laughs and he says, "You made a mistake coming here."
Yep, I sure did.
You're 100% right. Okay, he's going to stay where he is. Urash, it is your turn. Things are getting nuts around here.
Yeah, they are a bit, aren't they? Okay, so here's what I want to do. I'd like you to tell me if I'm going to get skewered multiple times for it. I want to disengage from the 3 enemies in front of me, move backwards, and throw a rope over the side of the ship. I want to know if that's a possibility or if I'm going to get absolutely pincushioned because of it.
Sorry, I just got let me hang on one sec, actually, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, Pyron, you could actually say that to me directly because that's actually helped. Publicly, because that's helpful. Roll20 is giving you that for Sleet Storm. What I just read you is the player handbook description of Sleet Storm, which makes me wonder if this is the original. Maybe Roll20 is more updated. So let me go look, because if that's true, then I'll obviously have him do a dex saving throw before any of that stuff, for sure.
Yeah, because that's how I came for it, because that's what Roll20 gave me for Sleet Storm.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, I was just looking at the player's handbook.
Yeah, no. I don't have one, so I was just putting it into Roll20, like, what does
I was
Sleet Storm
Googling
do?
everything, so yeah.
Yeah, or starts its turn there. That's absolutely the case, according to that. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Oh, well, actually, wait, I'm looking at Roll20, which is what you just looked at. No, I need a...
You can totally confirm Roll20 with Roll20.
I need a referee.
That's not good science.
I'm going to go to D&D Beyond. Yeah, or starts its turn there. So it must have been changed then by them. Thanks a lot, Wizards, for not telling us. Okay, so it starts its turn there. All right, so must make a dexterity saving throw. Let's see if it made it.
My handbook also says starts a turn there.
So you have a later edition, maybe?
Yep.
Like,
Well, it says it right here.
because both Chai's and mine say the other. Anyway,
When a creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, it must make a dex saving throw.
it makes more sense that it would be on it starts its turn there. So here's the deal with that. He missed that terribly, so he's going to fall prone, which means that he is 100% not going to make any of those attacks. So, so you're not poisoned, and you are at whatever you were before. Oh gosh, I don't remember what you were at.
35. I was at 35.
Okay, you're at 35.
You
Good call.
prince.
Thanks
This
for
is way
letting me
better
know,
than
Byron.
2.
You Prince of Persia.
I'm sorry, I usually don't argue.
Oh, no. That's not an argument. That's a clarification. I can only go by the book. I didn't realize that they had changed it, so I'm glad you checked. Okay, so he is prone, and he is going to spend his move. Let's see. He's going to spend his move getting back up, so he's not going to attack you. He's just going to stand there and be like, "This isn't going to keep me off you from long," as he's kind of stumbling around. Okay. So, yeah, good call. Thank you for letting me know. Now, I apologize profusely, Mike. Say again what you wanted. Or
God, no. You just saved River's life. It's fine. Yeah, so what I would like to do is I would like to disengage from the 3 that are attacking me, move backwards towards the edge of the ship, and throw a rope over the edge of the ship from where the shouting was coming from.
Could absolutely do that, sure.
Yeah? I'm not going to get pin-cushioned by
Nope.
daggers.
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Although next turn, you'll probably get a bunch of them attacking you, but like...
Yeah,
whatever,
that's fine. So I'm going to be moving to here.
Also, I
and
forgot to mention that you were going to
Yep.
take 1 point of
yeah.
damage due to poison, because remember, that was halved already from 2.
Yep.
Oh no, I told you that was not that's not affected by that, right? So you're going to take, because poison is immune from your usual rage thing. So this poison,
Well, I wanted to ask that actually. So yes, I take half damage to a lot of different varieties of damage because I rage, but because of my totem spirit feature, Mammoth Skin, it says while raging, you have resistance to all damage except psychic damage.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't
Then
know
you
if
would-
that actually.
Then you would counteract this effect.
Okay.
So
Cool.
because the totem spirit. So that means that you would have resistance. Still means you would take though some
Half damage, right?
Yeah. So you would be. I think you would have taken a point of damage. So I don't know how to calculate it. Let's just leave you at the point total you are right now.
Yeah,
Let's-
that's fine.
Let's call it even.
Yeah.
So also you should make your con save to see if you remain poisoned, and then we'll have you do the throwing the rope thing.
Oh, I screwed that one up royally.
Well, you're like the
Well,
poison
yep,
takes part of your
definitely
body, and
still poison. Yeah.
now-
My arm drops
you're now
off.
poison save. Okay. All right. So now you can toss the rope over, no problem.
Yep.
And Greta, you see a rope like falling down next to you. Now you're holding on to one side of that rope, I assume, because that
Yes.
might make you vulnerable next turn, depending on how fast Greta gets up there.
Yep, that's fine. So I'm basically, I have my axe in one hand on my shoulder, kind of menacingly, but also cheekily looking at the bad guys, and I kind of have the other arm wrapped in rope, and it's over the side of the boat.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. So you do that, and there is now a rope leading down to Greta. Yeah. Also, that was totally not rules lawyering in any way. I'm glad you made that clarification. It makes more sense to me this way anyway. And they should have told us and released an update to the book.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they did. I wasn't paying attention to Sleet Storm 3 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So you're staying where you are because you have to be. Okay. That leads us to this guy. Now, the red cloaked mage here looks up at you and looks at Selzik and is kind of like, "You think your size will save you? It won't." And he looks at you and laughs, and then he holds out his hand, and let's see. I think he's going to this probably. Yes. Does he want to affect his own people? Yeah, I think he probably. Yeah, I think he probably does. Okay, so a blast of what looks like wintry cold air emerges from his hand, and it just over the body of the chained giant. It is also going to affect the cultists on the other end, who seem to be like, ah, screaming their head off. This is some kind of frigid blast in a cone-like shape. So I am going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please, for me.
No, you're not, because in an uncanny move, I jump using my natural evasion to make a dex saving throw against the area of effect.
Oh, nice. Outstanding. Let's make it happen.
Do that as a giant?
I'm a half
going
giant.
to look awesome. It's
Very
going to
dexterous
look
giant.
awesome.
The dexterous giant. It would be great if anyone could see this fight happening above the darkness. Like, it'd just be
You
like,
might
"Then
just
this
see
hap-"
me suddenly go whoop. And
Yeah,
then drop
that's true.
back
You
down
that's
again.
actually a good point. Probably River just sees the head of a giant Celsig appear for a minute and then like disappear again.
Okay, so Dex saving throw. If I fail, I take half damage. 25.
Oh yeah, that makes it for sure.
I do a flip.
Okay. So let's see. So on the uncanny dodge dex save, your uncanny dodge would have it normally. So you take half on a fail.
Half on a fail, no damage if successful.
Wow, that is huge because, just in case anyone is curious, you were about to take 32 points of cold damage. right then. So you literally duck over it. These guys may not be so lucky. They're all going to make saves. Try to make saves. Two are going to miss. Okay, well.
Quit hitting yourself.
Yeah, so so two of these guys are now extraordinarily hurt. The other one is just somewhat hurt. And he curses, "That won't save you from me," he says. Now the cultists are going to go. So this one down here is going to try to thaw itself as best he can and sort of stagger towards you and is going to try to weakly swing at you. With its dagger. That is going to be a... Okay. That is... Okay. That is going to be a 14.
Nope.
Okay. The second time is another 14, so also a miss. This guy who's slightly less hurt is going to roll an 11
Nope.
and a 19.
19 will do it.
Okay, and then the other one is going to... let's see. A 12 and a 17.
Nope.
Okay, so that's just one hit, I think,
Mm-hmm.
out of all of those. Okay, you don't have to worry about being double poisoned, so it's just the amount of damage that is done, which is going to be simply... Okay, so 5 points of damage, Celsius.
Which I will react to.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think
And
about
then
this, though.
rinse.
I don't think you can react twice, though. You've used your reaction already on the...
No, evasion's just a dex saving throw. It's not a reaction move.
Oh, it's not a reaction? All right, then.
Nope.
Then you can do that. The power of rogues, people. All right, so then you only take half of that. So you're going to round it up, though. So 29.
So it's 3. Yeah.
So 29 of your maxed hit points. So 29 and... okay, and then you haven't taken your poison damage because of that. Okay, and this guy yells a command, "Well, get him, you idiot!" And they sort of uncomfortably move in your direction. They're not going to get there this turn because they have to like stumble around the chained body of the giant. So they're going to stay there. Okay, that's what's going on the lower level. Meanwhile, in the upper level, there are 3 cultists that are about to try to give what for to Urash, who's holding the rope. So we have got an 18 and a 13.
Can I see that they're attacking him?
No, because he's above. I mean, you can see that something's attacking him, but you can't see the figures, no. Because you're not up there yet. On your turn, you'll be able to climb high enough to see. But right now, he's right at the rail, and they are beyond your vision, you know, on his other side.
So the 18 hits, the 13 does not.
18 hits, 13 does not. All right, let's see about the other guys. And then we have a 14 and a 17.
The 14 is my AC, so is that it?
Yep, so that's 2 hits, so
Okay.
3 hits so far.
Yep.
And this other one is a 12
That's a
and
miss.
a 15.
That's a hit.
So 4 total hits, all with these. Okay, that is 15 damage.
Okay. Is that halved or
That would
have
be
you
half,
already
yes.
halved that?
That is. So that would be so 8 damage, right? Would be what it
Yeah.
is. So you're at 68, I think.
Was I 68? Was I not 64?
You were at 74. So I'm saying like
74.
minus 6.
Oh, minus 6. Sorry, I thought you said minus 8.
No, it would have been 13, and then we halved it. So round up.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I can't do numbers. Sorry.
It's okay. Actually, round up. It should be 7, not 6. I apologize, because we're rounding up. So my bad. I can't do math either. So 69. I await the memes in chat.
Hey,
Okay.
nice.
So that was the deal with those guys. Okay, that leaves us with 2 cultists who are remaining. These guys are now officially gone, lost to the winds and the weather. They are off somewhere else. And so the ones that are remaining, 2 of them are going to try to attack River. This one is now no longer blinded, because I think that only lasts a round, actually. So, but the good news is they're all in your Sleet Storm. So all of them are going to have to make dex saves. What is the DC that I'm trying to beat for you, by the way, Chai? You know what your what River's difficulty?
15.
15, okay. So we'll make it. Oh, I just thought of something that's you may or may not like. What's up, Pantsless Aaron? Okay, he's gonna miss. He will make. All right. So this one is going to slip and fall. The one right here. These other 2 managed to make it. They're going to get their attacks off. But you'll be happy to know that this one also misses its saving throw at the wheel. So he slips and falls over, and as he does so, he rips the wheel to the right, the starboard. And so, and Greta, you see the ship begin to like loom towards you as like this thing is going, heading this way, as the ship is spiraling, is spinning to the right because there's nobody at the wheel at the moment because he ripped the wheel down when he fell. Okay, that means there are still 2 others who are going to get their attacks on you though, River. We have an 18 and a 9. And then,
18 hit.
And then we have a 12 and we have a crit, unfortunately.
Both.
Okay, so...
Right, because meet it hits, right? And my AC is 12.
Yes.
So 3 hits.
All right, 3 hits and one of them was critical. So that means...
Yay!
Yeah, I know.
I narrowly escaped death just to die later.
Well, okay, let's see. So you were going to take 6 damage from that one that maxed it out. And then we have 2 others that are going to do... 6 and 5. Okay, so you take another 11 points of damage from the other 2. Now, you are going to have to make a con saving throw, but I will tell you that their poison is not as virulent as the orc. So this isn't as bad, but it would still be good if you saved. So, con saving throw for this one.
23.
Okay, yeah, so you shake that off again. So you were at 18 out of 42, but the good news is all of those bad guys went. And now it's
Yay!
Celsig's turn.
Okie dokie. So I've got to roll for poison first. So 1d6 for the damage, right?
Yes.
Okay. 1! Phew!
Woo!
My luck's turning!
All right, and make your con save.
Yep. 28, and then con.
Make that con. Make that con.
Nope.
Oh.
Now the
Continue to be
fun begins.
Yeah, okay. You're just standing above them,
So,
looking like
2
Gulliver.
swords in hand.
Yeah,
One leaving a rainbow trail as it's waving through the air. I turn to the most damaged looking person and I swing my gambler's rapier at him.
Okay.
So now, this is where the real fun begins. Because of my strength bonus, I get plus 10 to my attack and plus 10 to my damage.
Oh, man.
Because I've got...
I'm so looking forward to
So
using that
the
version.
rapiers, I should explain quickly for people in chat. My rapier's a finesse weapon. Finesse lets me use my choice of dex or strength for attack rolls and damage bonuses. And I'm currently mighty.
25 strength, to be specific.
Mm-hmm. So let me get
The
the
theoretical
die roll.
normal maximum is 18, so...
Yeah. So it's going to be a D20, 1 plus 10. So D20 plus 10. Will a 19 hit him?
Sure will.
Sure will. Okay, so now I do 1 D8 plus 10 piercing damage to him. Magical, if that counts.
Mm-hmm.
So I do 14 damage to him.
Okay, he is skewered to the side wall of the ship and is dead. You just... and the other
But
like,
wait!
The other guy's like, oh!
But wait, there's more.
The guy in the red cloak. That was my favorite.
So now turning to the next most damaged looking character after that frosty friendly fire incident.
He's like,
okay, so bear with me on. So yeah, I get another 1d8 plus, no, sorry, 1d20 plus 10 for my damage. Sorry, for my attack, but I won't get the damage bonus on this one. Only a 12.
let me double check on that. These guys don't have not crazy armored, but you just miss.
Okay.
Sadly.
Right, that's my bonus attack. What's next? Since I'm on a roll. Let's have a look.
Oh. Oh man. Okay.
Oh god.
No. I'm thinking about things that you folks might be able to do. I'm here for it.
Right. Let's have a think. There's not much else I can do. I'm going to use my cunning action to get a bonus disengage. No, I'm not actually. I've just seen the layout in the hold after moving to get a better look at it. Never mind. Can't do what I wanted to do, so that won't benefit me. Yes, actually, I can. So I'm going to disengage over here.
Okay.
I'm going to wedge myself up in this corner.
Okay. Now be aware that you're technically affected by the sleet storm in here. So you weren't when you began. If you do that, you may run the risk of having to make a dex save and all that kind of stuff. Do you
What happens
want
if I
to
slip
do
and
that?
fall on them?
Oh, I mean, you'll definitely do a lot of damage. if that's your plan, that's totally
Not
cool.
not my plan, but just a what if scenario.
Yes, you would hurt them quite a bit.
Okay. Well, dex saving throw. So I want to get me back up to a wall, squeezed in a corner right
Okay.
now. 25.
Okay, yeah, you're fine. So you manage to hold on as you make your way over. Do not fall prone. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
So there we go for that. Okay, now it is the Marrow's turn. And this one, Greta, who's not happy at the situation, is going to swim towards you rapidly and attempt to attack you again with its harpoon trident thing. It's going to again stab you melee, not throwing it. And is going to miss horrifically on its first one, which is an 11. And the next one is a 20, not natural 20.
20 hits.
Okay. So he's going to do... let's see. He's going to do 12 points of damage. And I will need you to make, again, this strength contest. So we're doing the strength roll again. 10, alright. Wow. Apparently you've been doing extra time praying. He got a 9. So, the 9 was the total roll. So you managed to again pull away. He seems extremely irritated by the way that you keep doing this. He's kind of like, he's so not happy. This guy swims over closer. Let's see if he's gonna, I think he is gonna do this. He's going to try to hit you with his harpoon. So he flips it around in his hand and is gonna try to toss it. 18.
18 hits.
So, thunk into your side. Okay, and that is going to be only 6 points of damage, but again, you need to make a strength against him this time, because as he throws the thing, you notice that trailing from his hand is a light, either like a chain or a rope or something that's attached to the other end of this. So it's like it is, in fact, a roped harpoon of some kind on its other end. So he pulls back on you as he needs to make another strength check.
Doesn't get it. Who wants an angry dwarf?
They apparently are tired of your stuff.
11.
I want to make clear to the chat that the last 3 turns of strength rolls have been among the worst I have ever seen for monsters. This was an 8 in this particular case. So again, it does still that you're like, again, you're like, stop trying to pull me down onto the thing. Like, it's amazing. So the Marrows do not succeed. That's the good news. The not so good news, maybe, is that you see appearing to... Right, there we go. So, they don't appear there. You see these guys over here emerge on this side. And they all sort of like look around, and then one of the, this one here, I would say probably this one here, because he's so annoyed, barks at orders at them, and they all turn and look at you as if they are ready to begin throwing things at you as well. They're not going to be able to do it this turn, though. Okay, so it's a rough situation. Okay, River, you are up next. Greta is on deck. Now, River, if I read Sleetstorm correctly, I think you are affected as well by it, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so you do have to make a dex saving throw.
I do.
Sadly.
Yay, which I fail.
Yeah.
So now I fell down too.
So now the good news is, because you fell down prone, you could either try to attack. You could cast from being prone. I mean, no reason you can't. Or you could try to stand up, but that'll take your... Well, actually, you could take a move. You could take your movement action to stand up and still attack, actually. So that is possible. You could still do that.
Probably should stand, but then I'm just going to fall down again. I may as well just cast spells from down here, right?
But you do make it so that they get advantage on you if they can stay up.
That's the worst part, right?
It's true.
So, can I try to stand and then take my action, or are you gonna have me like?
No. You can try to. If you can stand, you'll succeed on it. Yeah.
Okay, then I would like to stand.
Okay. So you do so. You are no longer prone.
And then I would like to cast greater invisibility on myself.
Ooh. Okay.
So I disappear.
That is a good one. All right.
Yep.
That mouse looks so cool. She just like falls down into the street like.
I know, and then I disappear.
Stands up and then is like zoop, ninja. Okay.
But now I can't move, so I have to just wait.
But it's going to be hard. They're like, oh, they kind of look.
No,
around,
they don't know where I am.
They are very confused, and that's going to lead us to Greta. Greta, there is a rope in front of you.
That's my rope. That's for me. That's my ship. I need to. So yeah, up there.
I'm going to say that you're able to get up there because it's not that high up at this spot of the ship. So I would say you're able to get up there this turn. So you move up and you are now on the railing. So you've used your move and you're basically here-ish. And you see that there are 3 cultists attacking Urash. You can see that there's some weird cloud of darkness over here. Although every so often you see the bobbing. It looks like something every so often emerges out of the darkness, and it kind of looks like the top of Selsig's head, which seems impossible because it's enormous and like it doesn't make sense. But anyway, you occasionally see that. You also see that there's a bunch of sleet and ice over here, and you don't really know what's going on. There's no sign of river that's evident. Looking, and that's it. That's what you see.
Can I still do a spell?
Oh yeah, you got up there, so you can do a spell.
Channel Divinity Radiance of Dawn.
Ooh, tell us all what that does.
So we're gonna bring out the big ones now.
Destroys all bad guys.
In a bubble of 30 feet around me, it will now. Every hostile creature will be dealt radiant damage.
Oh dang. Okay.
And it also dispels all magic darkness.
Okay. Interesting.
So every hostile creature needs to make a Constitution saving throw against this.
Okay.
And then it gets 2d10 plus my cleric level of damage, or half.
What's my DC that we're looking at?
That is such a good question. Because I'm not sure about that. I think, and I'm not 100% sure on this, it's 14 because that's my spell save DC if I've ever filled that in correctly.
Okay. You may be higher now, but anyway, okay. Let's go.
Yeah, I think it might also be higher by now, but
I'm gonna say it's 15 on a complete out of my butt decision. Okay. So first one is going to.
So
you said con
30.
save, right?
So it's a Constitution save, 30 feet, every hostile creature.
Got it. All right. So
Oh, unless they have total cover, of course. Then
they do not.
They don't see it.
All 3 of these guys fail their saving throw. And so then this one, I think, on the other side and down is out of range. So these 3 are definitely all affected. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay, do I get one of the mermen there? Because they annoy me.
10. Let's say that you get this one, sure. Probably because he's staring right at you because he's so angry at you, and then, ow! You know. Yes, sure.
19 damage for everyone.
Wow. Okay. So.
And half of that for those who who make their saving throws.
Okay. These guys all look like you hit them for a lot. They're not dead, but they got badly hurt by those three guys. Mm-hmm. And these ones down here, let's see.
And any magical darkness, should we have some, gets dispelled.
I'm going to deal with that in a second. Yep. This marrow down here did make a save. So you said it's half damage for that?
Yep, half damage for that.
All right, so we will round up, and so that is 10 damage to him, and he roars in pain. And yes, the magical darkness is dispelled, which means now that you can see, and Urash looking over can see, a large and enormous giant that is again chained, lying at the bottom of the hold of this ship, with his eyes staring sightlessly up at the sky, and his crown, a crown on his head. And right now you also see an equal, almost as enormous, Selsig, who is cackling while attacking these small creatures at his feet. And then there is also a guy over here who is a red-cloaked mage who is looking extremely angrily at that. Actually, I should say that you barely see this because it's in the middle of a sleet storm, but because it's a giant, I would say that you can kind of sort of see him. So, yes.
I pointed at the guy in the red cloak, and I'm just like, he looks like he's in charge, we should probably kill him next.
So that is what you see.
First thing, pull rope up.
Okay. Yeah, and you can probably do that, I would say.
Yes, please, because I'm pretty sure they have like strong arms and will follow me.
I'm not going to let you do that. I'm going to let Urash do that. He's got a bonus action left, I think, would be able to. Yeah, so I'm going to let Urash do that, which will be fine. He'll go before any of them would do anything. Okay, we begin with the top of the round with the bad guy, and we are also running low on time, I see. We will start with the bad guy, who needed, you said a 15?
If we've just finished the battle round, maybe that's a good time to stop.
Oh, do you want to Whoa, I see. We could. I feel bad stopping the combat right in the middle, but this is, of course, a pretty important combat, obviously. So it's not
I have the strange feeling we might not finish it within 5 minutes.
No, that's definitely true. That's fair. So, okay. So then what I would say is just sort of as we sort of set up here, we have two of these cultists still battling it out with Selsig, although they are stuck in this sleet storm. We have, and you know what else I needed you to do, actually, River? I'm sorry, now that I think of it. I needed you to make a saving throw to maintain concentration, which I need to, I think, maintaining concentration. Let me just double check, because you slipped and fell.
But she cast it after she fell.
No, it's a concentration spell.
The sleet storm is concentration.
The sleet storm.
Oh.
So, let me just make sure.
Yeah, just tell me what to roll and I'll roll it.
It is a con saving throw, so you need to make a con saving throw to maintain your sleet storm.
16?
Okay, yeah, so it's still going. So
Yay!
there are, in this middle of the sleet storm, we've got bad guy, we've got another bad guy, we've got another bad guy here. We've got the ship, which is still listing to its right. We'll see if the cultists can fix that when it's their turn. You have Selsig as a giant over here that you can barely see. Two more cultists that you can't see at all. Over here, three cultists that look pretty nervous walking towards them. One extremely angry red-cloaked figure here. Three very hurt cultists up here that have just been hit by the Radiance of Dawn. One exceedingly angry Marrow who has been hit by that same Radiance of Dawn. And three as yet unhurt Marrows down here. Sorry, unhurt Marrows here. And of course, one chained, unconscious, and staring upwards at the sky, large, crowned giant figure. And as the camera sort of pans back from all of this, I would say that we see the wizard tower floating by, sort of whizzing by, and Zephyros trying to stare down with his telescope, and looks down and says, "Well, I don't know whether they're winning or losing. I don't know what I should do about any of this. What do you think?" and he looks over at the young griffin, and it's with that gaze at each other, with them looking at each other, that we will bring this session to a close. And I apologize, I don't love to stop in the middle of combats, but I don't want to be late for Aaron, so you're quite right that we should stop it at this point. It was a lot of fun. I was having a lot of fun watching this stuff going. I mean, it was good times, and I hope chat enjoyed it also. I will start, as I usually do, with Tasty Chai at the bottom. Of course, I'll be seeing all of you next week, but for Talisman Adventures. So how did you feel about this mega combat, Chai, that River got involved in? I think the Sleet Storm was a really smart idea, and it was the only thing that's probably keeping you alive at the moment because of all those attacks. So good call on that. How'd you feel about today, and where can the people find you next?
Well, I had fun, especially because the baby was more occupied than normal, and it was amazing.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you, baby. Thank you, husband. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing this combat. Hopefully not dead. 18 points. I can handle that, right? Like, I'll be fine.
Yep.
I'm invisible. They can't see me.
Yeah. That
Should
invisibility
be
is going to be huge, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, well, obviously I will be here in 1 week's time playing Talisman with you lovely people, where I'm playing a Malkavian, essentially. So that'll be fun.
Basically.
And if you can't wait that long, I will be over on my personal channel tomorrow, probably playing more Death Stranding, but if I'm sick of it, we might play like Frostpunk or something. Either way, fun times.
Good stuff, and always a pleasure. Thank you, Chai. I'm going to stop this combat song with mega ups. I mean, I'll let the players tell you what they thought of it, but I was super happy with that song. I think it worked really well for this sort of naval feel of it. So hopefully the players, were you on board with song was good for?
Oh yes,
I absolutely loved it
in beta form.
Like you say, like you say, it's going to be improved upon at
Yeah,
some
it's gonna
point.
be even
So
better. So
really, really good.
that's pretty
looking
cool.
forward to that.
Cool. Yeah. So anyway, that is I turned that off. Okay. But yeah, thank you, Chai, so much. Always a pleasure. And I'm actually, my chat just chose the Frostpunk for me to play as my chat chosen game of the month for next week. So I have not played Frostpunk yet. So I'm looking forward to playing a post-apocalyptic thing where everyone has to stay indoors all the time, because that doesn't fit our current circumstances at all. So it's going to be good times. Anyway, thank you, Chai. Always a pleasure. Also, always a pleasure. There's Greenforge Studio. Hey, everyone go follow Greenforge Studio and check them out. Greenforge Studio is the maker of this awesome music. Seriously, Gabe, great stuff, man. Really. I'm super happy the players loved it, and thank you. You folks should check out Greenforge Studio because there is a lot of great music that can be licensed. Tavern music, forest music, combat music now. There's even space combat music, more to come. So you should check it out and give him some business, because he's really good and the music's great. So it's going to be awesome. So yeah, thank you, Greenforge. Good to see you, Gabe. Moving right along, it was also awesome to see Urash. It's a good thing that your landing was like dramatically awesome, because they needed you to be dealing with the cultists that you had. Like, there's a lot of people on this ship and a lot of problems and everything, and so you need to make the Captain America situation. And you successfully did so, and got to get Greta up on the ship, so you have your healer too. How'd you feel about today? Where will the lovely folks find you next?
It felt incredibly on brand, this series of actions for Urash, basically defying death by throwing himself through a tornado, essentially, off the back of a
That was the
griffin from a
best.
flying wizard's tower, down several hundred feet onto the deck of a ship, landing with such ferocity, and then threatening the crew, and then 50% of the crew throwing themselves overboard. I mean, that's a proper ego stroke to Urash. It really
It
is. He's just like, oh, maybe I'm really not cursed anymore. Fantastic. Yeah, just quick aside, Greenforge Studios, the music for the story so far, which someone posted in chat earlier, I'll grab the link in a minute and post it as well. The tavern music for that was also from Greenforge Studios. Absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely go check them out. Really, really big fan of them. Yeah, I feel really good about it. I'm excited to play Talisman as well next week, and I'm even more excited. I'd have rather have stopped halfway through this combat and continued it next week than try and kind of rush our way through this combat.
It makes sense.
I think there's going to be some really interesting bits that we need to think about in this combat, so I think that's going to be really cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it from me. If you want to find out when I will be streaming in future, over on my YouTube channel, yes, I know YouTube, boo, but you know, then you can check out my Twitter at Peripheral Mike or my Instagram at Peripheral Mike. So please check that out if you want to. There's no set date yet, and there's no set schedule. Just basically doing this for the greatest health benefits possible, so I'm not going to try and overwork myself too much. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm always looking forward to more D&D as well.
Good stuff. Thank you, Mike. And we should also point out the introductory video that we did to Talisman is also Greenforge Studio music that
That's
we
true.
licensed
Yes.
from them. So a lot of Greenforge going on over here.
Yep.
But anyway, thank you, Mike.
If only they weren't so good.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Just be worse, and then we won't have to get this music.
Yeah.
But anyway, good stuff, Mike. Thank you. As always, a pleasure. Also a pleasure to have Darksaber with us again. Thank you for the move out on the dashboard. But also, thank you for some awesome plays today. Like, when you first arrived up there, there wasn't, I mean, you were kind of in a rough spot. There's no real great way to do this, incidentally. Like, I mean, unless you could figure out a way to carve your way through the hull of the ship. Because obviously they intended this to be well guarded, so it's probably not surprising that it's this way. But the idea of using the giant thing, jumping down, like swinging at everything, like I think when I started reading off the actual stats to you, you were like, this is, it's not just a giant cell stick, it's a giant period. So yeah, and that is obviously going to be hugely important for the rest of this fight to come. You did get hit a lot and poisoned a lot because they happen to roll well, which is unfortunate, but you are a giant, and that should hopefully help. So, how'd you feel about today? Where would lovely folks find you next?
Well, things started well. I foolishly thought getting on the boat would be the hardest bit, which seems to be the only thing that went smoothly.
That's true.
Then we had a Greta fall in the sea. I almost got one-shotted.
Almost.
At that point, I was like, I'm drinking the potion, and whatever happens, happens.
Oh, this is absolutely what you needed to do. Yeah, for sure.
And I could see Pyra panicking in chat when I jumped into the hold as well. It was on my mind about River, but then on the other hand, I'm like, you mentioned there's people down there. Like, there's more coming.
Yep.
And we don't know where they're going to appear, so maybe if we surprise them.
Yep.
Would have been funny if I'd landed on one. So
that's true, yeah. As it turned out, not quite so much. You almost hit the giant who's chained down there, but
he's unconscious. We'll blame it on the cultists.
Blame it on the cultists.
just like jumping over the area of effect attack. Because I was like, your size won't save you. It's like, yeah, you don't know what I do for a living, do you? I dodge things. So that was awesome. But we're getting a bit more organised. The counterattack's starting now. Or is it the counter attack at this point? I'm losing track.
Counter attack, I think, basically.
Yeah. The tables have turned a couple of times tonight, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It was a bit stressful to start with, especially when you're squishier characters or land in the ocean. Especially when it's the healer. Of all the characters that fell in the ocean, it's the one with the heels.
I had this image of you all like being like, "Where have you been?" And you're like, "I just dealt with 4 mermen and I punched a cultist in the back of the head." Like, you have no idea what I've been doing down there. All right.
But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow here on this channel. I'm not sure what I'm playing yet. I'm eyeing up some of the stuff in the platformers sale because I feel I need something bright, colourful, and cheery after doing Little Nightmares last Sunday, which was really, really good. Quite depressing, but also very, very creepy. If you haven't checked it out, check out Little Nightmares and Little Nightmares 2. And I'll be back on my channel on Thursday. Probably Final Fantasy 14 some more, because there's still fish to be caught.
There's always fish. Always a pleasure, Saber. Quick note, by the way, Celsig could also now see Urash and Greta for sure. I'm not sure that you'd see from your angle, River, but you can see them. So just so you know, the lack of darkness goes both ways now. So. Okay, moving on, last but certainly not least, Pyra, a very eventful, the griffins, the jumping off, the splashing in the water, the fighting the marrow, and you did get up on the ship, and that Radiance at Dawn was a big deal, and it's going to help to have all the party on the ship now actually doing things. So in the end, a very, very active session for Greta, a lot of stuff that she had to do. How'd you feel about today? Where will the fine folks see you next?
Hey, seriously, have you seen those rolls? I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 2.
Oh, I saw them.
It was just, and then like cannon. Then we had the set of dwarven cannonball in full armor, like plunge, go into the water. But yeah, we're up there, and people that I can see can be targeted with healing spells. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna help a lot. So let's just hope that. Let's hope that what we're seeing right now is what we need to fight, because then I think we can do this. I'm very sure we can do this. I have no clue. I mean, how we're gonna get off this ship, especially how are we gonna get that big Celsig home? I mean, this is gonna be a problem. But on the other
we
side,
don't know the duration of the potion either, like the players do.
Yeah,
The characters don't.
Yep.
but I mean, you're the same size as Hackathon, and we thought we could get him off. So we're gonna figure something out. It's gonna be fine. So everybody's gonna see me on Tuesday for Talisman. I don't think I'm gonna fit in another stream in between them now and then. Although I'm always open for a little bit of multiplayer, like we had last week with Barony, which was awesome. But yeah, so next week, Talisman, where I play a very angry pixie. With armor, with weaponized pixie.
That's right, a weaponized pixie. It's going to be awesome to see that. Yeah, I'm very excited about that, and very excited for more of this campaign next month. But you will see the same crew next week as they play a whole new adventure. In a graveyard is where it all begins, as all great stories must. I don't know whether that's true. But chat, can we get some love for the wonderful players, for Pyron J, Darksaber2K, Peripheral Mike, and Tasty Chai. Great work from all the players as always, and I will see you lovely folks next week. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Okay. And that is going to do it for today for us. This was, as always, a great time. I really enjoyed that. It was, I wondered about how, because there's a lot going on, right? Like, it's a complicated combat because of the nature of where everyone begins and ends. But I just love the visual of it. I think really kind of fits. And it is true that getting Greta up there so that Greta can heal is going to be a big deal, and that will make a big difference. But what is also a big deal, other than the fact that I don't know what's going on. Okay, my camera's fine. That was really weird. What's also a big deal, though, is the fact that it is time for us to get on out of here, rise up on out of here, because Pantsless Aaron is going to be joining all of you lovely folks now for some, I believe, Dark Souls, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be crazy, and I am very excited to see. I'll probably hang out while I finish up and watch a little bit of him banging his head against a wall repeatedly, which was my experience of Dark Souls. So you should... Oh, Dark Forces. Oh. Well, the same thing. Okay, I repeat what I said. He will still bang his head against the wall because that is what happens. I saw it. I was here, okay? I was here when it happened. Pantsless Aaron banged his head against the wall with Dark Forces also. That is the same thing, exactly. Anyway, thank you all so much. Thank you to Greenforge Studio for the music. Thank you to my wonderful players, to Pyron, to Peripheral Mike, to Tasty Chai, and to Darksaber2K. Great work, as always, from that crew. And thank you to all of you lovely people. I will be back here next Tuesday with, again, Talisman Adventures with this same crew. Also, I'll be on my own channel on Thursday with my voice team, the Our Vocalist, doing the game Neocab. Really, really good voice team that's going to be doing a voiceover of that game for you all Thursday night. So please make sure you stop back for that. And Friday for my space opera tabletop role-playing game Esper Genesis on my own channel. Otherwise, I'll see you back here on Tuesday. Stick around now for Pantsless Aaron and Dark Forces. And thanks, everyone, for all of the amazing contributions today in chat and elsewhere. Much love to all of you. You folks are great, and be good to each other. I'll see you folks soon. Pen and Pixels over for now. Stick around for Pantsless Aaron. Good night.